So in the absence of Gavin Brown, Nathan Buckley tosses the coin for the Magpies, and a couple of changes here. During the week, Paul Williams was selected to replace Godden, but Williams, who missed last week with a thigh injury, has been a late withdrawal, and so Godden does come into the side. And there is Godden across centre wing with Wright and McDonald. McDonald, who had an outstanding game last week. Half forward line, Anthony Rocker, and at full forward, Sav Rocker. And the performance of the two Rocker boys will be crucial to Collingwood's chances in this game.
Very strong Collingwood lineup, Drew. Much always depends upon the Rocker brothers, and we can see there that's Justin Blumfield picking up Nathan Buckley. Let's have a look at the Bombers lineup.
Change in their lineup with Joey Masiti winning a reprieve. He was dropped during the week, but does come in for Sean Denham, who misses.
Already we've seen O'Connor, Heffernan, Jukovic and Doolan go to the interchange bench. Bomford, one of the young players that Kevin Sheedy's banking so much on. Scotty Lucas last week booted 6 goals. Fletcher, such an important player, whether up back or in the forward line. Somerville, they need a big game from the big fella at the centre bouncers. And there is some of the younger players, particularly Jukovic, who Kevin Sheedy has a great opinion of.
Collingwood going left to right in the first quarter. The bounce a bit crooked, it favours Monkhorst. ducking his head and winning a free kick against Somerville. Somerville went into that contest pretty hard, and McDonald is groggy in the first seconds of the game. McDonald kicks towards half forward, just outside the 50. And a magnificent mark taken by Crowe. Just too far out to score. He looks for Big Sav, who offers a lead. Now he goes in the direction of Anthony Rocker in space, right in front, but the whistle's gone. There's a free kick against Somerville for Monkhorst with interference before the ball arrived, and so Somerville in the first minute has given away 2 frees, and the second perhaps should bring up a goal.
Exactly as you called it, Drew, and you'd have to say that Peter Somerville's probably got a little bit too much aggression at the moment. You'd have to be toning it down a little.
It's always interesting when Collingwood play Essendon. It's a theory of Collingwood players, especially with Monkhorst, to drift forward into the forward 50 because you can make Peter Somerville vulnerable and play on the scoreboard, and that's exactly what's happening on this occasion.
Monkhorst returned to form last week and inspired their win over Richmond. He kicks from 43 metres out. It's away to the right and offline for a behind. Anthony Rocker took the mark, but the whistle had gone, and well before that ball arrived, they all knew it was a free kick. And it's on again, and Somerville has put Monkhorst down. So Peter Somerville has come out here full of fire and brimstone. We'll go with the football for a moment. Anthony Rocker underneath the ball, and Wellman at half-back takes it for the Bombers. Kick by Wellman. We're watching the 2 ruckmen in the top left-hand corner. It flips to the back of the pack. Here's Nathan Buckley. Cockatoo Collins for Essendon. Spins out of trouble, back into trouble. Gets the hand pass back. And Essendon driven forward by Blumfield. Inside the 50. Clever by Lucas. Well, Scott Lucas, who kicked 6 goals last week and really stood tall in Essendon's disappointing performance against the Dockers. How about that for a mark?
And he's a terrific player, his young Scott Luce. He's very enigmatic, but when he plays consistent footy, he's probably a very key forward for Essendon in their front half, and he's an ideal opportunity to put some scoreboard pressure on them, on the Collingwood defence.
For the first goal of the game, Lucas kicks truly. One-handed catch.
Great body use on that occasion. Got Mel Michael out of the contest, knew exactly where the football was falling, and he just had the great awareness to use his body and keep the right hand free. Great mark, more importantly, great conversion. Good start for the Bombers.
Great start by Lucas. Booted 6 goals last week. This will be interesting, this centre bounce. Monkhorst against Somerville. Already they've been at one another, so they can come charging in. There's Somerville, had a look at Monkhorst, who now tries to trap the ball and knock it on. Joe Mercedes back in the side. Denham's out for the Bombers, taken away by Fraser. Gives it to Cockatoo Collins. Edge of the centre square, down towards centre half forward. The lead is on. Too much carry that time for Lucas. Back of the pack, Mel Michael. Fine young player. Playing in defence, gives it across to Richardson, found his niche there last year, kicks a long bomb, Patterson's got it. especially on the front edge of the centre square. Patterson, again the lead is on. He's looking for Pugsley out in front. Couldn't quite get his hands on the ball. It's a loose ball. Going to ground was Banks. Hands and knees. They want the free kick. Sav Rocker appeals for it. They'll ball it up on 50. So there's Hardwick getting up off the ground. He's copped a heavy one. He's down. Very groggy. Peter McKenna up in the Great Southern Stand.
Just watching young Carosella. He's watching Patterson instead of watching the flight of the ball then, Drew, and it nearly cost them a goal.
Osborne goes to ground. Fraser again with quick hands. Great tackle that time by Pugsley. Again, they try and come forward. Blumfield had it, give it across to Bumford. Caught. Great tackling by the Pies. They're going in very hard on the edge of the centre square, and they're going to ball it up.
I just think the momentum of the Essendon players are getting their bodies in that little harder at the contest. And it's interesting you see over the course of the first four events, first 4 games of the year, it's the hard ball gets. The Bombers are leading the table in the competition with 157, but the other end of the spectrum, it's the Magpies with 52.
Well, Hardwick looked as though he might have got a knee from a teammate in the head, and Richard Osborne injured as well. So a few casualties in the first few minutes of the game. Moncourt's hand pass backwards, missed the target, but eventually Schauble out at centre wing. He kicks towards the 50. Essendon have the numbers. Ball worked towards the boundary line, and eventually it will go out.
Drew, Osborne was bumped from the side. His legs, as we'll see here, his legs were just taken out from underneath him, and Osborne didn't move much after that, so I'd say it's something pretty serious.
Yes, well, it was Hardwick who took him out, and Hardwick himself is off the ground injured. Buick up towards centre wing. Cockatoo Collins in the middle. Overrun by Lloyd, but he follows up. Leaves it for a teammate. Knocked forward by Fraser. Good scoop up by Crow. Back he goes. And they work themselves out of trouble. That's Luke Godden. Up towards half forward for the Pies. And that ball will run out unless Calthorpe can keep it in. He did well. He was almost in the crowd, Calthorpe. Back to Carosella. Short pass, Buick.
He's got it on the half-back flank. He's looking for 50, John.
Well, at the very least, I think that there should be something said to Righty, because Graham Wright certainly made sure Buick knew he was there and did a little bit too much, but maybe not a 50, but certainly a chat.
Lloyd's got it on the half-forward line. He's looking for Lucas. He's got the sun in his eyes. Scotty Lucas caught behind. Mel Michael thumped the ball forward. Here's a chance taken by Blumfield directly in front for the Bombers. He's off target. Through for a minor score. And let's go down.
Well, we haven't heard from Dipper this afternoon. Good afternoon, Dipper.
Good afternoon, Drew. And this is the start the Bombers want. Last week they were accused of being very, very flat. We've got a crowd of about 75 to 80,000 people. What a great day to be involved with. I'll keep you up to date with the injuries on the sidelines here with Richard Osborne and also with Hardwick.
Bombers by 6 points. Mel Michael short. Finds McDonald. On the half-back flank, Bumford on the mark. McDonald finds Krasiska, edge of the centre square. He's been reborn as a wingman. Goes short. Good stretch by Russell. Inside the centre square, goes wide. Big Sav's the target. Got his hands to the ball was Banks. It's a loose ball on Collingwood's forward line. Danger for the Bombers. Kicked off the ground by Rocker. Jukovic in the goal square. Drops the mark. Anthony Rocker couldn't get his boot to the ball. Banks paddles the ball along. Happy to see it trickle over the line. They'll toss it back in.
Kevin, just catching up with Damien Hardwick. He obviously was stunned when he got hit there. He had a bit of the wobbles, and now he's about to come back on the ground shortly.
Chance here for Collingwood with the throw in the forward pocket. Anthony Rocker got his hands to it. Down to Patterson. He didn't get round the corner far enough and kicks a minor score.
And Drew, there's some interesting matchups, one-on-ones all over the ground. Graham Wright's got Darren Buick for Essendon. Gavin Krasiska has been matched up by Bomford. Buckley's been matched up by Blumfield, and also Gary O'Donnell's running with Scott Russell. So some interesting one-on-ones all over the ground.
And Mick, your ex-teammate Richard Osborne, looks like he's turned his ankle, his right ankle, and the doctors are working very hard on it to get him back on the ground.
Berbikov kicks in with distance. Moncourse there to punch it forward for the Pies, but it's straight into the path of the Essendon defence. Kicked out of defence by Calthorpe, centre of the ground, and the mark is taken by Blumfield, just behind the centre circle. Blumfield playing on Buckley. Kick by Blumfield, not a lot of distance. Knocked forward by the Magpies defence. McDonald fighting hard for it at ground level. Gee, somehow the Bombers got it out. Masiti kicks long to full forward. Schauble drops the mark. It comes off to Michael. Michael clears with a beautiful kick to Krasiska.
And on the break, Krasiska. A loose man has been set up. Chance for Anthony Rocker on centre wing. Bombers lead by 5 points again. Right, rockets the ball out wide. Krasiska picking up some early touches, kicks the ball down again. Scott Big Savage drops a sitter. Banks playing in front, pulls him off the ball. Thought it might have been holding the man. Great tackle again by Calthorpe. Loose ball on the forward line. Going in very hard is Patterson. Another quick snap around the corner. This time he still can't bend it back, but the whistle's gone.
High tackle to Gary O'Donnell, KB.
So the ball will be brought back. There's Richard Osborne on the interchange bench after doing that ankle. So the Bombers come away. Chance for Wellman. Quiet achiever. Fourth in their best and fairest last year. Kicks the ball down. He was looking for Cockatoo Collins. Chipping in is Godden. Across half back. He's come into the side. He's replaced Paul Williams. That was a big blow to the Magpies. Back towards the half-forward line and one-on-one contest. Pugsley was against Wellman. 2 against 1. Somerville. He's already had an altercation with Monkhorst. The kick's a poor one. So a chance. Watson, who's been in good form, he's booted 7 goals for the year, and he finds Russell. Still outside of 50. Again, the lead is on. He's looking for Rocker. Again, Banks got his hands on the ball. Great agility by Big Sav. Feeds the ball out. Didn't hit a target in right. Bomford, the tackler, feeds the ball back to Krasiska. Stands and delivers. Goes short. Great vision. Finds Fuller. 35 metres out. And he has pushed it right.
And that can certainly get into the pressure situation of the game. Young Brad Fuller, knowing that he was only 30 yards out from goal, probably in retrospect should have gone back, assessed his options, and make sure you kick those goals.
Also,
because when you're 30 yards out from goal, you have to kick them.
Also, Mick, it's important for his teammates to tell him what to do as well.
Yeah, communication's a big thing out there.
Oh, Berbakov's kick in straight to Graham Wright, and he's inside 40. Collingwood have peppered the goals, but from this monumental blue by the Essendon defence, surely they'll get there first.
Yeah, bad mistake on this occasion by Berbakov, but it's interesting to see their first kick. 2 kick-ins they've gone short in the centre corridor, merely because the Collingwood have zoned and all their tall players are 2 rockers, and Monkhorst are outside the 50-metre arc, getting up there for the punch back, and hopefully they can find a ground-level ball. But bad mistake on that occasion.
Collingwood's first goal is on the board.
As we said before, Drew, Graham Wright's got the job on Darren Buick, and already he's become a pretty important player. He knows when to run off and when to play a defensive type game. Graham Wright over the last 2 or 3 weeks is starting to get into the game, more consistent ground time. He's a very good player for the Collingwood club. He knows when to overlap and get into the forward 50 area. And the most important thing about his game, he can become a multiple goal kicker.
Great raw signal, that goal from Graham Wright. The Pies lead 9-7 out of the centre square. McDonald pumps the ball forward once more. Anthony Rocker, beaten this time by Wellman, comes away from centre half back, drills the ball and finds Blumfield. Still inside the centre square. The lead is on wide. Lloyd should get there. And marks in front of Shawball.
And Blumfield certainly got the better of Nathan Buckley at this early stage of the game.
So the young champ on the edge of the centre square, kicks down again. Lucas is a target. Mel Michael worked his way to the front. Shawball, Collingwood defence working hard. Runs into Bomford. Loose ball. Lucas has already kicked the opening goal. Rockets the ball back. Smoking Joe Mercedes. Kicks the ball long. Deep into the forward line. It's a chance for the high flyers. Running with the fly of the ball. Fletcher got his hands to the ball. Buckley cleans up. Kicks the ball wide. Great vision to Crow. Bang. Down he goes from Fraser.
50-metre penalty, I'd say, KB.
They wanted to pay the advantage, but of course they'll have to take the 50.
Well, the 50's a greater advantage, isn't it? It's worth the kick and a bit. And the best they could be hoping for was running down the outer wing then, so...
Incidentally, that was Buckley's first touch.
Crow, Big Sav's in front, he's got it.
Yeah, Collingwood have got a chance to kick a goal merely because of an undisciplined act of play by Mark Fraser. Giving away a 50-metre penalty, gets them within 70 metres from goal, leave the space open. Rocker leads into that space. Great kick by Crow, and now Rocker's got a chance to kick a goal, the second in a row for Collingwood.
He has been averaging 4.8 goals against the Bombers. Ticked 11 goals for the season. 397 career goals. So a big chance to bring up his 400th goal today. James Hird sitting in the coach's box alongside Kevin Sheedy. Severio Rocker. From 45 metres out. You'll hear the roar if he kicks it. He's missed.
True, Peter McKenna here.
Yeah, Pete.
That was right in front of me. He took about 2 or 3 steps, instead of getting back 15 metres and getting a nice long run in. But the good part of that play was he pushed off his opponent and led to the open spaces, which was really good thinking.
Berbatov, after his last mistake, this time gives it plenty of distance. It comes to the back and driven up towards half forward. Fight on for the ball. First game of Dean Solomon here, making his debut in the long sleeves, number 7, and locks the ball in to the applause of the Essendon fans. He came from Broken Hill, just an 18-year-old, and what a stage to come from Broken Hill to the MCG to play your first game, and there's over 80,000.
Certainly not comparable crowds, are they, Drew?
Amazing. Buckley took 12 minutes to get his first touch. Man who had 40 possessions last week against the Tigers. And he's given it straight up this time. Caracella marks for the Bombers.
Well, Blumfield's got the job of playing on Nathan Buckley. Caracella, third last year in the Norwich Rising Star. Fine young player. Pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Lloyd was the high flyer. Couldn't hang on to the Sherrin. Godden comes away from half-back. Feeds the ball off to Patterson. He's playing more as a midfield player this year. Again, bang, crash. Rocker creates the crumb. Fuller gets the go-ahead from the umpire. He's going to run into the open goal. Young Fuller bangs it through.
Terrific play on that occasion by Severio Rocker. He really had to commit himself at this contest. He would have got the free kick. The free kick was there for a too high over Severio Rocker, but the advantage was given to Fuller. You could see him stop in motion there, but he took himself on. He got within 25 metres from goal. Knew Calthorpe was the chaser, but he took himself on to go straight at the goals. Here's the free kick again. Was certainly there, but Fuller learned from his previous mistake, ran in close to goal and converted.
That was cool play by young Brad Fuller. Just his 2nd goal in league football. This is his 4th game.
And the good signs, Drew, was the fact that Rocker hit that pack hard.
Mercedes hand pass. Bomford to half forward. Almost a one-hander by the first game of Solomon, but he's coughed it up to Godden. Liddell it was. Out to Russell, centre wing. Russell on the turn towards half forward. Well, Collingwood had the numbers, but they couldn't take the mark. Berbatov. Over centre wing. It's just popped up in the air. And there's that first gamer. Dean Solomon. Well done, son. Just forward of centre wing. And he's given it straight back to the opposition, although it didn't quite carry to Shawble. Back to Crowe. Bit scrappy at the start this game. Knocked on to Anthony Rocker. He floats the ball back to Patterson, who really stretched the hammies to get there. Running out of room near the boundary line. Back to Big Anthony. Centres the ball. Brother Sav is there. Caught behind. It gets behind. And the ball over the boundary line. Now let's have a look at some of the injuries we've had already in this game. And Damien Hardwick goes in pretty hard here and gets cleaned up. And Richard Osborne now getting cleaned up by Hardwick. Osborne twisting his ankle. Back live now with Collingwood a chance. Sav Rocker. Well, they've kicked 2 goals, 5, and should be a lot further in front than 10 points.
Richard Osborne still on the interchange bench. Be interesting to see whether Osborne or Hardwick can come back into the game. Both had their feet taken from beneath them. Important players too, Hardwick. He's had the most kicks this year for the Bombers. Bang, crash. There's a free kick. Popping it very hard there was...
he's reported him.
He's reported Smoking Joe Mercedes.
The report would certainly be
Anthony Rocker.
It'd certainly be for charging KB. And the reason that would be a report is because it's deemed as violently meeting an opponent when he's not in the, well, immediate contest for the ball. In that case, the marker, he was just about to take a mark, so obviously not expecting that sort of contact at that time.
And all said has come into the game because Sean Denham couldn't take his place in the Bombers lineup.
And all said and done now, that's going to be a real test of the mental strength of young Anthony Rocker. Knowing that the duration of the game, knowing that he's under the microscope now, that he's got a report across his shoulders, he has to really stand tall, forget about that incident and get on with the next hour and a half of play.
Mercedes looking for Fletcher on the long lead. Thought he might have got a push in the back. Shawble is happy to take it over the line.
Kevin, you mentioned Richard Osborne. He's been up and down twice now on the boundary line. They're still worried about his ankle. They've retaped it twice now, so we'll just keep an eye on.
Thanks, Dip.
Bombers in attack. Richardson against Fletcher. An ugly attempt at the ball by the two non-specialist ruckmen. Solomon, the first game, are fighting for it, number 7. Chris Danaher's old number. And the umpire will ball it up.
Drew, we've seen a couple of 50s now paid for players that are perched under the ball just being creamed. It'd be really foolish if anybody does that again, because the umpires have telegraphed that they'll penalise it or report it.
Richardson wins the hit out, but his opponent Fletcher picks up. Bomford gets the ball back. Lloyd for goal. It's got the carry. Full points.
And that's a great build-up by the Bombers. Firstly, the loose ball went out wide, but the shepherd there initially to give Dustin Fletcher some time and space to quickly kick the ball forward. Even though it wasn't a good kick, it was a little bit erratic. It went into the hands of the Essendon players. As we see here on screen, there was a great shepherd here. Got his direct opponent, Alex McDonald, off the ball. The scrappy kick forward landed in the hands of Bomford. Quick release to the favoured left side of Matthew Lloyd. And as we know, once Matthew Lloyd gets a chance to kick a goal, more often than not he converts. Great play, Essendon.
Just turned 20, Matthew Lloyd. 99 career goals for the young champ. He's first today. Monkhorst in the ruck. Taken away once more by Smoke and Joe. Gives the ball back to Fraser. Kicks the ball long. Lucas playing in front. Michael got a fist to the ball. Lucas first to recover. Quick snap. Way off target. Through for a behind.
KB, it's interesting to see where they got Matthew Lloyd today, because that's his first goal for a couple of weeks now. He's kicked 10 points in a row before that one there, and he's playing centre-half forward. He's normally at the full forward position. Yeah,
it's interesting you say that, Dipper. It's merely because Dustin Fletcher and Scott Lucas, they're using a two-pronged attack deep in the full forward line for the Bombers. One with league speed, one with a bit of height, and giving the room for Matty Lloyd up the ground to move around in. Good point.
Buckley. Those beautiful silky skills. Finds Liddell, half-back flank. Brasiska is loose on the wing. He's had a very good opening term. He's been in terrific form. Wants to set it up, wants to draw an opponent. Now decides to kick the ball long inside 50. Rocker was caught in front, coming out his Banks.
Good play, Banks. Left his direct opponent in rock up. Come and attack the ball. That's what you got to do when the ball's in flight. Back your own instincts, back your own judgment, and come and meet the footy.
Made his debut in this game last year, Matthew Banks. He did pretty well against Sav. Kept him to just 2 goals. His kick back towards centre wing. Soccer forward by Cockatoo Collins. Was great play. Hand pass balked by Bomford. That's Bomford now. It was Blumfield the first time, holding the ball. Advantage now to Collingwood, and kicked up the ground by Godden. Inside the 50. Wellman to Calthorpe. Caracella. Floats a hand pass to O'Donnell. The rest to wait for it. Collingwood by 3 points. O'Donnell kicks outside the defensive 50. Masiti, who doesn't appear to have taken any damage from that knock, which is good, because the FCG hasn't been kind to him. He was hurt here in the Ansett Cup.
And Smoke and Joe kicks the ball down, looking for Solomon. At the back is Monkhorst to Scotty Crow. Had some handy touches also in this first term. Kicks back towards the half-forward line, looking for Pugsley. Good punch way by Jukovic. The youngster playing his first game for the season. Gives the ball back to Caracella. Just thumps the ball long. Fraser, too much carry on the ball. Cockatoo Collins can trap it. Great hands to Fraser. Should kick a goal. 30 metres out. This is a bad miss. A wasted opportunity.
And Mark Fraser, he knows when to cross the 50-metre line, knows when to overlap, but that's always been his concern. Lack of conversion's always been a problem, talking point for Mark Fraser. They're the goals he has to kick to add an extra string to his bow when he's in this Essendon lineup.
Mark Richardson kicks in. McDonald. 36 possessions last week against Richmond. He kicks to Buckley, who had 40. Good hands by Nathan Buckley, who's been challenged early by Justin Blumfield. Centres the ball. It didn't quite carry to the target. Looking for Scott Crow. Crow gets it back from right. Now buys some time. Back to McDonald. Long kick. Schauble on the forward line. Got underneath the ball. Schauble went with Lloyd, and Lloyd marked. Well, Lloyd kicked a goal a while ago, and here he is at halfback.
I always question the validity why Nathan Buckley goes short. I prefer to see him go back and get yardage with his kicking, because he's a prodigious long kick, but I'm not so sure whether he's very good when he kicks short.
That's a beautiful kick to Lucas. Looks very dangerous. Richard Osborne heading off the ground, kicks down towards Fletcher. He's got Richardson to beat, paddles the ball long in front, needs support. Gets the ball back to Lucas, does well. Outside of 50, it's a long bomb. Cockatoo Collins pushing and shoving in the back of the pack, and he's got it.
I think pushing and shoving being the operative words.
Yeah, there was a lot going on between Calthorpe and Buckley, and both went to ground, and Nathan Buckley very, very upset.
It's interesting, though, I think the Essendon strategy here is trying to get Collingwood defensive players into foreign parts of the ground. They're getting Mel Michael well up the ground. That's what Scotty Lucas is intending to do. And young Luke Godden, who's probably a little bit in awe of the situation at this stage. He's got Shea Cockatoo Collins, a good player, back in the last line of defence.
Dangerous player in form, kicks a goal.
So that puts the Bombers back in front. They lead by 4 points. But another look at this, I'll be interested to see whether this is a fair dinkum push in the back.
No, I think it's just superior judgment on that occasion, Drew.
Lucas kicked it a long way. Beautiful kick. As the ball just arrives for Cockatoo Collins, who judged it well, took the mark and kicked the goal. Bombers by 4 points. Somerville in the middle. Going forward, Solomon. He's made an interesting start and a good start to his game. Masidi gets it forward. Solomon crunched to the ground. Picked up by Crow. Kicked by Crow towards half forward. Anthony Rocker reported already. And Wellman has kept pretty close to him. Buckley goes the spoil on Blumfield, and the ball goes out of bounds. Well, we knew that Blumfield was a pretty good player when they gave him Tim Watson's number, and he's doing very well on Nathan Buckley at the moment.
And this is certainly not the first time Blumfield's been given the task of playing on Nathan Buckley. He's done the job before and he's done it well, so it'll be an interesting test of wills now between these two players.
And to catch all the footy action, there's the official AFL website. O'Donnell, the skipper, the veteran. The older statesman of the Bombers side kicks down towards Lucas. Looking very dangerous. The kick's a scrubber. Back to Liddell. Shawbull feeds the ball off to Mel Michael. Gets it back to Liddell. Working overtime out of the fence. Just pumps the ball back towards the edge of the centre square. Masidi has been in the action. Patterson at ground level to Russell. Goes to ground. McDonald has been in top form. Gets the ball back to right. Stands and delivers. A big bomb inside 50. Jukovic from behind. Goes the thump. Wellman. The crummer. Jukovic. Sheedy's got big raps on this youngster. Comes away, wants to take him on.
Oh,
he's ran too far, is it? Or is he held?
No.
Let's go back to Johnny Russo.
Yeah, look, I mean, momentary grab, but certainly not held or retarded. He bounces the footy, bounces it again here. And, well, he's been pinged for bouncing the ball while he was being tackled, but
so he was deemed in possession.
He was deemed in possession. Well, the important thing is whether it was a tackle or not. And I don't think that really was a tackle. I mean, sure, the jumper ballooned out a bit, but the player wasn't retarded and continued.
Watson kicks a long, long ball. He's hit the post.
And just on that, KB, I mean,
I like the old rule myself.
Here's the run again, and as he takes the footy, Jukovic bounces.
Let's count the steps.
Well, he's certainly not pinged for running too fast, so it's not a case of... It's just that he bounced the footy as he was grabbed momentarily there, and that's the problem. The signal given wasn't that he'd run too far.
GB, you would never have got a goal in your time.
I just hope the young boy doesn't lose confidence for doing that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dip.
No, that was a magnificent run out of defence. Wellman, shocking decision by the umpire. The ball bounces through. Lloyd should get his second. Oh, he's too good to miss. And that's 100 goals for Matthew Lloyd in a career which has spanned just 41 games.
Yeah, terrific poise here. Andrew Schwab, his direct opponent, went and met the footy. Unfortunately, the bounce favoured Matty Lloyd. But I just think overall across the ground, I think the intensity of the Essendon players are far and beyond the Collingwood players in the moment. It's the hard ball clinches that the Essendon boys are well on top. They're the ones who are getting their bodies in at their contest.
Important milestone for Matthew Lloyd, his 100th goal in AFL football. What a future he's got. The Bombers lead 27-18. Monkhorst against Somerville, trapped by Blumfield. He's got the job of playing on Nathan Buckley, and there's a good mark to Anthony Rocker. Kicks the ball wide. He's looking for Fuller, and also out there with Scott Crow. Fuller recovers well outside of 50, goes short. Watson was the target, caught one in the back.
Well called, KB.
Well, he's been in good form, Mick. Last year, he struggled. He's seen a sports psychologist over the summer break. He's kicked 7 goals for the season. He's already hit the post once in this game.
Yeah, he's certainly got back to the form of what we've seen in '94 when he represented Victoria. Admittedly, that was off a half-back, but he gives that extra dimension in the forward 50 for Collingwood, an extra scoring power, and here he's got a chance to kick a goal for Collingwood, a much-needed one.
This to bring the Pies within 3 points. He nails it.
All the same, Johnny, I'd like to have a look at that replay again with that free kick.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have any doubt, Mick. I mean, he certainly bounced the footy. Yeah, we're not in the best position to see that, Mick, but certainly looked as though he was pushed out, yeah.
Only needed a half-inverted pike, I think.
Seesawing opening quarter. Bombers now in front. Somerville wins. It comes to Buckley, who's starting to get motoring now. Buckley up towards half forward. Rocker leads the race, but Wellman has been pretty good on him. High ball. Bomford had to stretch for it. A beautiful kick by Bomford to Lloyd, but right on the siren, and no chance for Matty Lloyd to do anything about that. But Lloyd did kick 2 goals in the first quarter to bring up his 100 career goals. And Kevin Sheedy, who is a man who was really proud of the Anzac Day tradition and very pleased that his club is involved in this traditional game, he'd be happy that the Bombers got to the lead by quarter time. They lead by 3 points. But, Mick, I think there were a lot of mistakes in that quarter. Do the players get so hyped up by the crowd and the atmosphere that you can't quite do things the way you want to?
Yeah, that's certainly a valid point, Drew. You know, all the hype, all the pre-game hype certainly creates around this game today. But I think it's just overall the pressure of the contest. Everybody's trying to do their bit, trying to get involved in it, both physically and psychologically. We've seen initially the contest between Somerville and Monkhurst. We've seen good one-on-ones all over the ground. Wright Buick, Krasiska Bomford, Buckley Blumfield, Russell O'Donnell. All those players are trying to get involved in the contest in a spiritual and a mental way. It just goes to show what happens when the side that settles down first, they'll be the side that goes into the game and win the game at the end of the day.
Well, as we'd hoped for, a close one at the MCG. Hardly anything in it. Essendon by 3 points, 4-3 to 3-6.
In actual fact, Drew, Collingwood's got a forward structure of 7 players in their forward 50. Very cramped and very tight for room for Rocker to lead into.
Bounce in the middle, Somerville and Monkhorst. Somerville gets the ball out, but only for the opposition. Oh, great balk by Buckley. And a long kick of 65 metres to Big Sav. Banks climbed all over him. Calthorpe at the back. Back to Berbakoff. Oh, bit slow to get rid of the hand pass. Sav.
And paid.
It was a throw. It wasn't a legitimate hand pass. And Berbakoff, well, he's given away a goal when he kicked in about 30 metres straight to the opposition. And he should have got rid of the ball in the time that he had there.
Isn't it great to see a player only playing his 3rd game? Young Brad Fuller couldn't get the ground level ball, but he chased and harassed and dispossessed his direct opponent there in Berbakoff on that occasion. Because of a good tackle, now he's got a chance to kick his 2nd for the game.
Fuller, just a 19-year-old, about to kick his 2nd goal. And the boy handles pressure.
Yeah, good play by Fuller. He's becoming a very good player. There's the tackle there. Certainly a throw on that occasion, but it's great to see a young player of that stature knowing the defensive traits of a game. Here it is, a beautiful balanced walk in for goal. Head over the ball, directly in line, kicks the ball truly. Good play, good confidence booster for the young man.
Mick, one thing that Tony Shaw spoke to him at quarter time was the importance of getting the ball out of the middle. And we saw Nathan Buck with that long kick, as you said before. No more short kicks from Nathan Buck.
Collingwood by 3 points. Somerville down to Mercedes. 10 possessions in the first quarter. Just pumps the ball back down. We see where Mel Michael punches the ball away and gets the free kick as well.
Slung out of the way by Lucas. Is it Lucas? And got the free kick for that.
Very impressive young player. Tony Shaw tells me that he thinks he'd make a terrific forward. Just hasn't got anyone to take over the full-back position at the moment. But he says his athleticism could make him a star up front. Michael runs his full distance and just kicks the ball long. Shawball's a high flyer. Lloyd got his fist to the ball. Good play by Shawball. Kept the ball alive. No support. Lloyd across half back to Smoke and Joe. It's a kick-winning magnet. Kicks the ball up towards Solomon, has the ball thumped away. Lucas beaten by his teammate in Buick. Rockers the ball to Cockatoo. Collins has to handball to open space. Now the race is on. Cockatoo Collins, too much toe. Gets around Chad Liddell, runs into the open goal. That is sensational play. Shay Cockatoo Collins.
What a great call, KB. It typified what speed's all about there. You've seen Cockatoo Collins firstly tried to take on the tackle of Luke Godden, handballed it free, chased the ball hard with a lot of venom, a lot of desire, kept his balance in the tackle more importantly. His second effort here was just sensational. Took the speed on, took the tackle of Chad Liddell, opened up the angle a little bit and pushed the goal through. Great play, great team lifting stuff, inspirational stuff by Shay Cockatoo Collins.
Well, I think that goal by Shay Cockatoo Collins might get a mention in the overall goals for the week, let alone goals for the season. Buckley, the hand pass out, even they travel a fair distance. Anthony Rocker. Buckley again follows up. Masiti another possession. Bomford balked the hand pass, then kicks to half forward. Lucas nudged. Oh, clever by Mal Michael.
I think we just saw the athleticism Tony Shaw's been speaking about.
Yeah.
Great awareness also, KB, to keep your eyes on the ball even though you lost your balance. As you see here, he lost Lucas in the initial contact, but had the awareness to keep his eyes on the ball. Great play, Mal Michael.
Boy from Papua New Guinea. Kicks up towards half forward. Watson on a good lead. Shane Watson regaining some touch. He kicks down towards the 50. Shawble runs into space. Buckley tries to hold off Bomford and then applies the tackle to him. Blumfield. Anthony Rocker out to Shawble. Didn't have time.
Throw's been paid. True.
Against Anthony Rocker, who's been reported once. And it's something, plenty to say to the umpire there, Shane McInerney. And the free kick will go to Sean Wellman.
Can't really comment on the throw, mate. I didn't really get a good look at it.
Bombers by 3. The kick towards centre wing. And the mark to the new kid, Dean Solomon.
Pride of Broken Hill. These sides love playing thrillers. The Bombers lead by 3 points. In front was Fletcher. At ground level, Godden. Quick hands. Gets the ball back to Crow. Right across half back. Sets it up. Krasiska. He's also had a big game. This is his 7th kick to the half forward line. Anthony Rocker pushed out under the ball by Wellman. Comes away from half back again. Just belts the ball back. He was looking for Fletcher. Cockatoo Collins read it well. Didn't hit his target in Solomon. I don't think the youngster was ready for it. Liddell from half back. It's keepings off. He just belts the ball back. Wellman hit the ball hard. And again, just finds Shawble.
Comedy of errors at the moment. Every team member of respective teams are kicking the ball anywhere. They're not settling down, not assessing their options on the way through. A little bit of poise and purpose must come into the play now.
Shawble last year was crunched by Dean Wallace. Hurt his back and his ribs. And really struggled from that point on. He'd like a big game today. The veteran O'Donnell goes short, really wastes a kick. Lucas from outside 50. Lloyd's the target. He's got it.
Well, there's the difference. Gary O'Donnell, the Essendon general, as we've seen time and time again, as KB said, very rarely wastes a ball. Has a chance to set the Bombers up. Did so on that occasion. But what about the aerial skills here of Matty Lloyd? Great play.
And Peter McKenna, you'd have a good view of this.
I certainly have. Now, this will be interesting, Drew, because Matthew Lloyd's at a very acute angle. It's very blowy down in this forward pocket, and he kicks very high. Normally, you'll see when he kicks, it'll be goalpost high, if not higher, and probably it's better on windy conditions to drive it low. So we'll have a look at this from right behind. He needs to drive it low, but you'll get it. He goes up and under a lot. So up. He guided that beautifully. Goal.
And a beautiful call, Peter.
Thank you, Drew.
Matty Lloyd's kicked 3. Well, he kicked only 10 in 4 games prior to today, which after a 10-goal haul in the Ansett Cup game against Hawthorn, he thought he was going to be in for a big year. Maybe he might get 10 more today, Mickey.
Yeah, no, Matty Lloyd's a very good player. He knows when to drift forward. He knows when to set off the contest. He's got great awareness. More importantly, he kicks very straight for goal.
Fletcher left the ground while the goal was being kicked. Heffernan on. Ball up. And Somerville beats McGuan. Buckley did very well to sprint back for it. Well played, Nathan Buckley. To a losing ruck and then gave it straight up to the opposition. Carousel marks at halfback. Caracella. Short to O'Donnell. He hasn't had a lot of it, but beautiful kick earlier on. Set up the goal to Lloyd for his third. Clash of bodies. Buckley at the front. Ball pinned to him. Well done by Solomon. Well, he played in a man's competition up in Broken Hill. And I think he knows all about, not maybe AFL football, but he looks a senior player already.
And Tony Shaw's already reacted to the influence Joe Mercedes had on the game. Jason Wiles come off the bench and immediately come into the game as a tagging role.
Kicks a high ball. It's one for the Brave. Buick gets it down to Blumfield, and it's been marked by Solomon. He certainly does look like he's got a talent. Finds Somerville at the true centre-half forward position. The Bombers lead by 9 points. Matthew Lloyd has already booted 3 goals. Cockatoo Collins 2. So they've been the danger men up forward. And Somerville has already had words with Damien Monkhorst. At the very first bounce, they locked horns. Somerville, with Monkhorst on the mark pointing, he's saying, you're going to kick it left. Somerville, great camera shot there. It's going to be right on the line. It's hit the post.
As we've seen in the game already, it's just that awareness, that cat and mouse tactics from both ruckmen. Monkhorst trying to push forward for Collingwood, and also Somerville on that occasion pushed forward at the percentage time to receive a missed kick by Solomon, but he was in the right spot at the right time.
Both teams have had a poster that might be vital towards the end. We've had a draw in this Anzac Day game 3 years ago. Liddell puts it out in space in front of Krasiska, who can run onto it down the southern stand side. Gap being closed, but Krasiska has time. Watson in the hole. Oh, flips to the back to Anthony Rocker. Patterson. Still in play. Calthorpe. The whistle's gone. It's a push. And it's going to be a free kick to Patterson. Wide out in the forward pocket. Bombers lead by 10 points.
There was a bit of a push here that I saw, but it just didn't seem to do enough to Patterson to warrant the free kick. But obviously, we're a lot further away. He kept his footing and continued to run.
Stephen Patterson kicked it behind in the first quarter.
Looks like he's going for the banana, Drew.
Tough shot from there. Another poster, a double poster.
Cannon.
Well, how often do you see that?
Is that a 2-point kick?
Yeah. 2 points for you, Mickey.
Well, I think as Jack Dyer would have said in the old days, the angle was so tight the ball nearly stuck between the posts.
Look at the reaction of Patterson there.
That hurts.
But I tell you what, we haven't seen that happen many times in AFL football. Ball hitting at both goalposts. One to remember. Buick takes the kick out for the Bombers. Kicks to a big pack of players. Rocker. Anthony. Now he's about 65 out.
Same spot.
Big talk, you think, Mick?
Big talk.
And the crowd want him to. Listen to this.
Now Peter McKenna will have a good view of this as well.
Oh, it's a shocker. He's hooked it, Drew.
Drops short. It's been taken by Fraser. Gets the ball back. Jurkovic comes away from the half-back flank. Looks for Lloyd. This is good tactics by Kevin Sheed. He's starting on the half-forward line. He's running all over the field. He's booted 3 goals. Opens up the forward line for the likes of Lucas. The kick's on its way. Out in front. That was Heffernan. Going to ground. Couldn't take a Cockatoo. Collins back to Solomon. Yet to kick a goal in AFL football. Backing back. This is a big chance. He's got it. Blumfield, who's had the job playing on Nathan Buckley. And Nathan Buckley's on the centre wing, and Matthew Lloyd just pointed to Buckley and said, that's your man. He's just marked it in the goal square.
I just don't like the look of the body language of Nathan Buckley. Actually, today I seen him play 7 days ago. He was outstanding against the Tigers, but today, whether he's got an injury cloud, I just don't see him attacking the footy, running as hard across the ground as what he was 7 days ago. He's got to lift himself up.
The boy from Tuggeranong kicks a goal.
Mark Fraser was the actual key in this build-up by the Bombers. He took a courageous mark, falling back in the hole, but he overlapped again to get a second possession, kicked truly towards the forward position, but the crumbing there, the quick hands by Shea Cooker to Collins, a quick kick around the corner, fell Blumfield drifting forward. Great play by Essendon, and Mark Fraser could become a critical player against his direct opponent, Scott Crowe, in the overall outcome of this game.
They're playing funny games in the four-pot.
Kevin Sheedy on the phone, but the Bombers lead by 15 points. They've kicked 3-1 to 1-1 in this quarter. Ball knocked forward by Somerville. Nest of Bombers there. Masidi across to O'Donnell. Long kick by O'Donnell. No mark. Trouble for Collingwood here. They've kept it in Essendon. Lucas comes back. Lloyd is there. Matty Lloyd for number 4. Clever. Beautiful goal.
In actual fact, Drew, what's happened now is Nathan Buckley has gone down to play on Matthew Lloyd. Tony Shaw obviously in an endeavour to get Nathan Buckley into this game because it is falling away from it at this point in time. Play on Lloyd, see if we can generate some run across half-back. But what about the awareness of the Essendon players there? Every player was prepared to get to the front of the contest, push it back forward into play. Eventually, Matty Lloyd, great awareness, kicked it across his right shoulder in a great goal.
He's a sensational young talent, Matthew Lloyd. His father, John Lloyd, played for Carlton. Didn't play enough games under the father and son rule. Picked up by the Bombers. When they gave those players to the Fremantle Dockers, Ridley and Delaney, what a recruiting coup that was. There he is, O'Donnell. Tried to get his boot to ball. Blumfield's been dangerous. Kicks the ball inside 50. Richardson leads a kind bounce. Collingwood defence under pressure now, heads towards the boundary line. Fraser and Wild. See the ball over the line for a boundary throw in. 52 plays 31.
You see Richard Osborne there, Drew. Look, he's just come back out of the rooms after going in at half-time. I suggest he's been in there to get some painkillers on that thing.
Just under 10 minutes of action left in this second term. Masidi has won a lot of the ball. Denham didn't take his place in the Bombers lineup. Fresh air kick by Buick. It's loose. Russell, quick hands, back to right, edge of the centre square, pumps the ball long.
Sav has to double back for it. Banks outmarks him. No, play on, says the umpire. McDonald a shot for goal. Offline and a behind. The Essendon fans thought that that was a mark to Banks.
Well, not controlled, Drew, so I have no problem with that being called play on. If we paid that as a mark, we'd be paying a lot each week.
Yeah.
He looks a good player, Banks. I notice he attacks the ball, Mick.
Yeah, he's been very good, and that's the reason why we've seen Severo Rocker go out to the true centre forward position, trying to get him into this game.
And he seems to be able to keep Sav quiet. He's goalless today so far. Here's Fuller. Oh, clever. That's close. I think he might have snuck this in. Great goal by Fuller. Well, he's kicked 3. And thank goodness for the youngster, 19 years of age. No goals between the Rocker brothers, but Fuller's got 3.
Yeah, great play, great ground level play. David Calthorpe will certainly have to tighten up on that one-on-one contest because Fuller is a dangerous option once the ball gets at ground level. That was his 3rd goal for the game.
52 plays 37. Collingwood won't go away. Monkhorst against Somerville. Got his hands on the ball first. Solomon playing his first game. Wild kick by Somerville. Monkhorst and Somerville been at it all day. Caracella. Quick hands back to Solomon, who looks the goods to the half-forward line. Standing his ground was the Rhino, O'Connor. Started on the interchange bench. Great play by Heffernan. Kick short. Masiti.
Terrific play there by young Heffernan. Had the awareness to go to ground, trap the ball, take control of it, but more importantly, find his feet under a pressure situation. And then he had the presence of mind to find a loose teammate downfield when Joe Masidi had to play the percentage time to drift forward into the hole, and that's great team play. Great poise, great balance.
And again, Peter McKenna, that's in your territory.
I was just thinking, Kevin, I was right in front of me, the sheer determination. He got that ball out to Masidi through sheer guts and determination, never took his eyes off the football once.
Take us through it, Pete.
Well, he's a good kick for goal, Masidi. He's kicked it right through the middle, Kevin.
It's the quick answering goal from the Bombers. Mercedes pushing forward, and he's been a very good player. There's no doubt about that. That was Joe Mercedes' 16th possession. He's had 8 and 8 at this early stage of the game. Now his direct opponent, Jason Wild, will have to really stabilise that situation and play really tight and one-on-one.
And this was Calthorpe and Buckley. After the last goal, there was a bit going on. And I think they're giving it to Nathan Buckley, saying, well, you think you're a bit of a star? So far, he's had 8 touches. Way down on last week. Monkhorst wins in the middle. Flipped back by Somerville. There's Buckley. Down short of the forward pocket. And the ball knocked out of bounds by Calthorpe. Who's having an interesting day. Look at the different physiques there. Calthorpe and young Fuller.
You'd reckon there was a magnet between them, wouldn't you?
That's the spirit of Anzac Day, though, John. Body against body, mind against mind.
One's a screwdriver across and one's 3 axe handles. Banks kick towards the centre of the ground. Solomon dispossessed. It spills. And driven forward by Francis. McDonald taken off it by Caracella. Left half-back flank for the Bombers. Up to centre wing. Cockatoo Collins. Essendon led by just 3 points at quarter time. Now the margin 21. And Cockatoo Collins, what a goal he kicked earlier on in this quarter. This kick drops short and the mark is taken in defence by Francis. Back at half-back. Short into Buckley. And they're giving Nathan Buckley plenty of words, but he might yet work his way right into the game and get his team in. Sav Rocker.
There's the difference between Nathan Buckley kicking long and kicking short.
Anthony's up in the goal square. They've swapped. Anthony not getting too near it today, and Calthorpe concedes a behind.
Mel Michael's actually gone to Matthew Lloyd now, Drew. Good to see Big Sav leaving his direct opponent. It's probably the first time he's out-read and out-bustled Matthew Banks to the ball.
O'Donnell goes wide, finds Bomford. Been a success story. Banks is caught. Francisca, the tackler.
Had an opportunity to dispose of it. Tackled and didn't kick or handball, so penalised.
Francisca runs his full 15 metres. Tries to drill it towards Watson. Didn't quite make ground. Wild does well. Great hands. Centres the ball. This could bounce through. Taken over the line by Caracella. Let's have a look at this. He'd be one of the best tacklers at Collingwood, Mick.
Yeah, certainly, KB. He's the best tackler I've ever seen in league footy. He just knows that the rugby technique that he developed since he was a Brisbane boy, come down to Collingwood in 1986, and he's definitely the best tackler at the Collingwood Football Club by far.
Not a bad chaser either, Mick.
Yeah, he can chase. Don't worry about that.
There's Osborne, still warming up in the barrage line since going off injured in that first quarter. Looks like Collingwood are keen to get him back on the ground. He went up into the rooms. Might have got a shot of elephant juice. What a mark there by... Not paid by Buckley. Couldn't hang on to the Sherrin on the way down. Fraser, all tied up in a headlock.
Looked like Buckley had got giraffe juice.
Well, he's had 10 possessions, Nathan Buckley. And that was nearly a tremendous mark. Centre wing. Pushing and shoving is Wild. Over the top of the ball was O'Connor. Francis went in hard. O'Donnell had it, lost it. Wild in there once more. And again, they'll ball it up. 58 plays 39. Matthew Lloyd has booted 4 goals. 2 goals in the first quarter, 2 in the second. Have a look at O'Donnell saying his piece. And young Brad Fuller has been the surprise packet for Collingwood. He's also booted 3.
Because these two teams, they had that heated little tete-a-tete during the 1990 grand final, Mick. About that spot of the ground, didn't it, Stuff?
No, actually, the other end over here on the right-hand pocket, quarter time. Not that I can remember much of it, Drew.
Francisca knocks the ball forward. Patterson back to Big Sav. Kick smothered. It's a huge pack. I'm not surprised it was smothered. Ball back out of play.
It's interesting, Tony Shaw's trying to create some run here for the Collingwood Football Club. Monkhorst has come off the ground. Matthew Francis, they're trying to get Mark Richardson loose, and his direct opponent now is Peter Somerville. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there.
Sav Rocker and Darren Buick, neither of them had too much of it. Here's a kick from on the 50. Anthony Rocker right on the line. A Shepherd might have been handy then. It's actually bounced off Rocker and gone through for a minor score.
Straight away, that tactic's already come into the play. Richardson knew the percentage time then to drift forward. Unfortunately, the mark wasn't taken by Anthony Rocker. Certainly not a mark. Correct decision given.
Essendon by 18 points. And Richard Osborne has come back onto the ground. In fact, he'll come straight back into the action. Off hands. Here's Joe Mercedes, Smoking Joe through the centre square. Kicks the ball inside 50. Stand his ground was Luke Godden. Just tapped the ball out. O'Connor went bang, crash. Fraser, good quick hands back to Mercedes. Keeps winning the ball. Around the corner, Cockatoo Collins. Knocked over that time by Mel Michael. Goes to ground. Lloyd has kicked 4. Feeds it back to Fraser. Point blank range. Again, he misses.
Certainly that team-orientated play of Essendon's. Once you get the ball at ground level, it's amazing how many times they release the ball backwards so you can give your teammate time and space to kick the ball forward. It's naturally a set play of theirs, and no doubt it's become a part of Collingwood's play merely because of the influence of David Whedon.
What about Joe Mercedes? Dropped during the week after spending most of last week on the bench and had about 2 touches. He wins a reprieve and he's had 18 possessions, and we've still got about 5 minutes to half-time.
One of that was a ploy by Kevin Sheedy, knowing that maybe Sean Denham wasn't going to take his place in the side.
Just give Smoking Joe a bit of a fright, bit of a rev up. Here's Osborne, injured in the opening couple of minutes of the game. And he looks as though he's not too good still. The kick short of half forward. Francis did well. Out in the path of Buckley, who overruns it. But he took his opponent out, which was clever. Francis, long to full forward. Rockers are there. Comes to the front. Wellman's done very well. Sean Wellman towards the southern stand side. Bomford zigzagging out of defence. Great stuff.
Nearly go all the way here, Drew.
Approaches 50. Jukovic long. Offline with his kick. That's over the line. Behind.
Mark Taylor would be proud of this in slips, wouldn't he?
This was a terrific attempt by Heffernan.
Almost call it more than an attempt, wouldn't you?
Crow on the half-back line from Osborne. Kicks the ball, looking for Buckley. Still got Blumfield to beat, 2 against 1. The Rhino gives it back to Blumfield. To centre half forward, playing in front. Matthew Lloyd. What a player. So Cockatoo Collins is back in the square, along with Heffernan. Now Lloyd is a thumping kick. Tries to set it up to Che out in front. Second grab, didn't take it. Richardson just thumps the ball wide. Big chance now for the Pies. It's in open territory. Getting to the ball first is Matthew Francis. Started on the interchange bench, just tumbles the ball forward. It's a poor kick. It's been marked by Berbakoff. So a transfer of play. Some rebound football. It's like throwing a ball against a brick wall. It keeps coming back. Again, a poor kick by Wellman. Great interception by Patterson inside the centre square. Tremendous atmosphere at the MCG. Anzac Day. Collingwood playing Essendon. Buckley, half forward line. Again, tries to pinpoint it. Calthorpe chips in and has got it. Great smother by young Fuller. He's kicked 3. Right goes to ground. Taps the ball on. A goal here would be great lift for the Collingwood side. Rocker tries to kick it off the ground. Here's young Tarrant trying to feed the ball out around the corner. Watson. This could bounce through. Wrong side.
As you said in your call there, KB, young Tarrant's come onto the ground replacing Anthony Rocker. I think Collingwood certainly need a bit more leg speed in their front half. At the moment, they're pretty stereotyped, pretty stagnant in their forward half, and the crowding of Anthony Severio Rocker is obviously a problem.
Anthony just 4 touches, 4 kicks, 1 handball so far. 3 marks, but no scores. And Severio, not much better. 2 behinds he's got, 5 kicks, 1 handball. Ball punched forward. Here's a chance. Grasiska waits. Patterson hits it very hard. On the turn, 49 out. Wild in front. Off hands it comes. Tarrant goes back. They've lost it. Wild has it again. McDonald, 45 metres out. And he's missed. So, KB, the atmosphere is fantastic, but it is mistake-riddled, this game.
Well, you just get the feeling, Mick, that if Collingwood can grab a goal here, just a minute and a half left in this game, it'd be just fantastic for their confidence, because they've had the ball a lot on their forward line in the last few moments.
Yeah, they've certainly controlled the ball over the last 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe here's the opportunity.
Big Sav unloads over the line on the full.
Isn't it amazing the transformation in 7 days? Severio Rocker couldn't do a thing wrong, but today he struggled to firstly find the ball, to win the ball. When he's had the opportunity to kick truly, he sprayed it, and as he did on that occasion.
And on the other side, Essendon were very flat last week, Mika.
So Buick kicks the ball long, ground level. Taken by Blumfield, gives it across to Carosella. A couple of the Essendon young guns as we see the ball trickle over the line in front of Fraser. They'll toss it back in. Lucas has just come back onto the ground for Essendon and has gone to full forward. Somerville against Francis. It's on the half-forward line for the Pies. Buckley overruns the ball right. Just couldn't find Russell. So under a minute left.
And it's now Graham Wright who's got the job on Joe Mercedes. A real defensive tactic. He's the play. He's had 10 and 8 at this stage up to half-time, who's got to be really condemned about getting the football.
Big pack here. Francis, but Somerville blocked him up and did very well. Last minute of the first half. 3 goals the difference, but Collingwood have kicked 5-12. Essendon 9 goals 6. So the Pies have had more scoring shots, but trailed by 3 goals. Francis. Russell hit it hard. Ball's flipped up to McDonald. Wheels around. Sab's got it on the 50. 21 seconds left on the clock when Sab took the mark. And this is stab passing distance for Sab.
Great lead on that occasion. Coming and presented himself directly at the ball carrier in Alex McDonald. Alex McDonald had the awareness, balanced, looked up the ground, great poise, delivered accurately. Now these are the goals Severio Rocker have got to kick.
Well, he's kicked 397 in his career, but he's goalless so far today. High importance to this kick. The Pies fans like it.
What a goal to end the first half. That was one big kick and a pressure kick. Well done to Sav Rocker.
Well, that was beautiful. He didn't try to kick it out of the stadium, but just the flow of the leg, and it nearly did go out of the stadium. He has just belted that driver down the middle of 350 metres.
Well, what an important goal, because that means the Pies go in just 12 points down. And Mick, they did have the ball a lot on their forward line in the last 5 minutes. They couldn't convert, but I think Tony Shaw would go in at half-time there. We see with Danny Frawley. Pretty happy with the fact that in that last 5 minutes they had a lot of the ball. Kevin Sheedy there, probably just ruining that last goal. 60 plays, 48. The Bombers by 12 points.
The umpires delaying it for the little leaguers to get off the ground.
Yeah, they are, Drew, and with good reason too. If a player ran into one of those kids, it could do a serious injury to the kid and also the player.
Drew, it is interesting. Lucas has gone to the full forward line for Essendon. His direct opponent, which might be a mismatch, is Mark Richardson.
Anthony Rocker back on the ground. He finished the first half on the bench. He's at centre half forward. It's tight in the middle. O'Donnell's kick touched off the boot. Knocked forward by Krasiska. Cockatoo Collins gets a bad bounce. They go very hard. It rained during half-time and a bit of a slippery surface to start the second half. Buckley goes to ground. Krasiska concedes some ground. Cockatoo Collins is so quick. Well done, Liddell. Buckley. They were patient there. Excellent. And the 3-goaler, Fuller, takes the mark. Off to right. He gets inside 50, but he's out near the crowd. He goes across the face of goal. And it's out of bounds. Throw in.
And as you said, Drew, just because of the rain at half-time, it's going to be the side that really adapts their head to the slippery ball for the first 5 or so minutes of this third quarter. As Peter McKenna said, so important the first 5, the importance of winning the contest at ground level. That's where you'll see a fair bit of the ball early in this quarter.
Sab from the throw-in, quick snap. Just behind. Well, Collingwood got the last goal right on the half-time siren. In fact, Sab kicked it after the siren to bring it back to 12 points. That would have been a very handy goal. Fletcher started the game at full forward. And that's a poor kick in. Been marked by Patterson.
Well, earlier it was Berbakoff. That time it was Fletcher. And the result might be the same.
So we can see there, trying to just pinpoint it. And Patterson read it well. He's kicked 2 behinds in the game so far, a point in each of the first quarter and second quarters. He is a goal kicker. This will be a great start for the Pies. After kicking the last goal of the second term, if they can kick the opening goal in this third quarter, the confidence will soar. Such an important kick. Patterson from 45 metres. He's pushed it right. Again, he's off target.
It's 3 behinds he's kicked. So they've kicked 6-14 and they trail by 10 points. And Patterson and Savrocker are the 2 main offenders. Fletcher, a bit more distance this time. Anthony's there, underneath the ball. Somerville marks. Well, Anthony Rocker just didn't judge that in flight at all. Kick by Somerville to centre half forward. Comes to the back. Lloyd is there. Ball's pinned in. 60 plays 50.
One note, Drew, all the Essendon players have changed their boots. They were told by the match committee to make sure they change their boots to the stops.
Light rain during half-time. It doesn't actually rain during play. Macedia, a clever hand pass over his shoulder. O'Donnell paddles the ball on. Blumfield. And good spoil by Richardson. Chance at the front of the pack. Ball to the crowd on Godden. And the umpire agrees.
Terrific tackle on that occasion by Solomon. Godden won the first possession, but it was the chase, the pressure that Solomon put on him, and later terrific technical tackle. Here it is here. Godden won the ground level ball, but Solomon went low. He's a low centre of gravity player, is Godden, but Solomon had the awareness of mind to go low and wrap him up in a terrific tackle, John.
Yeah, for sure, Mick. And the ball wasn't pinned, so obviously he had the opportunity to dispose of it, but didn't take it.
Solomon in his first game. To the goal square. Lloyd flies. Is that a free kick? No, he's allowed the score. Thought Lloyd might have interfered.
With those marking contests, Drew, as long as the attempt is realistic and it's an endeavour to spoil the ball rather than a player, then they would normally allow that to continue.
Bombers by 11 points. Buckley to bring the ball back into play. Blumfield has been his minder today. He's getting the hurry up from the umpire, so he goes short, finds Liddell in the back pocket. Chad Liddell thumps the ball long. This will set it up for Lloyd. It's a poor kick. Look at Monkhorst. Shakes his head in disbelief. Lloyd. They can raffle it. Lucky number is 33, Caracella. Gives it across to O'Donnell outside of 50. Kicks the ball long. Cockatoo Collins will make ground. Didn't quite hang on to it. Blumfield. 15 metres out. Snaps. Across the face. Great attempt by Jay Cockatoo Collins.
Sensational, KB. And then he also had the awareness. Look at this, the challenge, the contest. Nearly brought it down to ground level. But watch if the replay rolls on. He got up and provided the shepherd here to get Alex McDonald out of the road of the chase to Blumfield. Terrific play, Jay Cockatoo Collins. That's what constructive forward play is all about.
Yeah, he's the only bomber there going in the air and the only man who didn't have any height. Buckley to Crow in the back pocket. Margin back to 12 points. Alex McDonald. And now they're out of 50. Michael well down the ground. Behind centre wing. Back towards half-back, Mal Michael. And now across the half-back line to right. Well, they worked it pretty well, but it took them about 5 possessions. Monkhorst, not the same game as last week. Down goes Watson. Somerville, the hand pass out. Blumfield, what a player. He's attacked. And he's had a good effect on Buckley. Jukovic's kick to full forward. Comes to the front of the pack. Solomon. Osborne didn't clear the area. And Godden eventually finds the boundary line. Well, they've worked pretty hard, Collingwood. They've had a lot of the ball. And they're back where they started, really.
I'm certainly impressed with young Solomon's game at this stage. His attack on the footy's been certainly good.
So we see Hardwick on the interchange bench. Went off early for the Bombers in that first quarter. Dipper might check, but looks like he may not be coming back onto the ground. Caught high was Cockatoo Collins. Mel Michael just ripped the ball away, then kicks it back towards the centre wing. Coming out is Jukovic. And we see Wild take the ball over.
Now, these Anzac Day games have created some terrific highlights. Last year's Anzac Day clash, in fact, in 1995, the Anzac Day meeting, 95,000 fans saw James Hird give the Bombers the lead with just a minute remaining, only to see Sav Rocker level the scores seconds before the siren. He kicked 9 goals that day, and it was a draw.
Monkhorst on centre wing. Gets the ball down towards the half-forward line. Wild looking for a good bounce. Fletcher just paddles the ball over the line. Now playing in defence after starting the game at full forward.
Kevin, I've just checked up with Damien Harwick. He's still not right. They're not going to put him on the ground until they need to.
Thanks, Dip. Essendon 62 plays 50. The Bombers by 12 points. And Buick just slaps the ball back over the line.
I'll tell you one player who's certainly pumped up, that's Gary O'Donnell. At any opportunity he has a chance to talk to the Collingwood bench, he lets them know exactly what he feels about him.
Gary is good at that.
He may not be the official skipper, but still a leader out there on the ground. Darren Buick tossed the coin today for the Bombers. Tapped back by Krasiska. Patterson on hands and knees. He's kicked 3 behinds. Tumbles the ball forward. Anthony Rocker hit the ball hard. Didn't quite get the bounce he wanted. Wild taps the ball out to Watson. Being tackled by Fraser. Under pressure. Crow kicks the ball back 35 metres out from goal, being taken by Banks, who's been pretty impressive. He gives it away. Right. Quick snap. This could bounce through across the face of goals again. Collingwood can't get a goal.
It never ceases to amaze me, KB. When you get into that situation, Matthew Banks has been very good all day, but when you get a chance to win the possession, take a terrific steadying mark in that part of the ground, only to play on, you're not balanced, give the ball off quickly, the traffic and the congestion's still there, that's the time and place to go back, settle, and look and assess your options, and then kick the ball accurately further down the field.
Fletcher, that's better. When you can kick at 65, why not? And Wellman takes a good mark. He has had a good game. And a beautiful kick out wide. Bomford, long kick to full forward. That's the way to move the footy. Cockatoo Collins, and the ball is knocked through for a minor score.
Good play by Osman on that occasion. That's when you have to defend and make sure the ball gets across the goal line so you can live to fight another day, settle, chance to kick in and assess your options on the way through.
3 kicks, one into the ground to the other. It's got to be better than giving up goals inside the 50.
Bombers by 12 points. Liddell, Collingwood might get out of trouble. Crow, still inside the defensive 50. Looks for Wild, been taken by Russell. Quick kick, Monkhorst versus Somerville. They pile on top. Wild showed tremendous courage to hit the ball hard. Look at Monkhorst, appealing for the free kick.
I just question where Collingwood's going to get their run from. Buckley at this stage isn't covering the line. Scotty Russell's been well held by Gary O'Donnell. Someone somewhere's got to put their hand up and really start running and prepared to really be a risk taker for the Collingwood Footy Club.
Ball up on the Bombers half-forward line. Monkhorst just thumps the ball a good 30 metres. Coming out is Watson. Lost it. Mercedes, 20 possessions. Fletcher puts the ball straight back over the line.
Monkey was such a star last week. Today he's had 1 kick and hasn't taken a mark.
Yeah, certainly right there, Drew. At this stage of the game, Damien Monkhorst hasn't had much influence, but it has been an enthralling contest between the 2 big men, him and Somerville.
Blumfield and Buckley playing the role of ruckman. Buckley couldn't get it clear. Solomon. This kid's come into league football with a certain amount of poise, hasn't he? Ball bounces in the centre circle, straight over Somerville. Here's Monkey, second kick today, inside 50. Sav's onto it. Krasiska in front. Anthony's got it. Back to big brother Sav, and Sav hoists it high for a goal.
That's the first time I've ever seen Monkey do a blind turn.
Yeah. That just goes to show the luck of the bounce. The kick was given inside by Solomon, didn't find his target. The ball went up in the air. Monkhorst assessed his option. There was Gavin Krasiska running extremely hard into the hole. The presence of mind to stay front and square of the pack. But the great release by his brother Anthony gave Severio to kick a chance on goal. That was a real team-lifting goal, one that Collingwood certainly needed.
307.
Collingwood drags it back to a 6-point ball game. Monkhorst against Somerville, down to Patterson's caught high. He'll get the free. Feeds it off quickly to Buckley, who'll kick the ball inside 50. Again, he's looking for Big Sav this time. Just couldn't get down low enough. Jukovic, an impressive young player for the Bombers. Wild at the bottom of the pack. Again, we see Jukovic sees the ball over the line.
Two players that are prepared to run at this stage are Krasiska and Patterson for Collingwood. They're the two likely types who can really cross the lines and give some added drive for the Collingwood team.
Again, they'll lock horns. This time Somerville wins out at ground level. Big Monkey feeds it off to Patterson. Speak of the devil, Mick. Kicks the ball. One for the high flyers. Sav Rocket runs back with a flight. McDonald got a hand on the ball. Feeds it out to Watson. Caught. Dragged to the ground. Good tackle by Caracella. And a terrific stop that time by Fletcher on hands and knees. Got his hand on the ball. Calthorpe goes to the ground. Wild. Kicks the ball back. Chance here. Rocker under pressure. O'Donnell taps it down. Caracella couldn't take it. Fuller, he's booted 3. Dispossessed. Wellman's had a big game. Rockets the ball wide. Somerville needs the bounce. Loses it. Has a fumble. Russell applies the pressure. O'Donnell finally with clean hands out to Blumfield. Pumps the ball back to the wing. Lloyd stands his ground. Has it thumped away. Here's a chance. Monkey. He's come alive in the third term. Damien Monkhorst back to Richardson. They go short. Great play by Buick. It's on 50. Collingwood desperate. The Bombers under pressure. Fraser back to Buick. The old head thumps it back. They've built the wall. Richardson on centre wing. Wants to feed it off. Back to Big Monkey again. The Collingwood fans are going alive. They're berserky at the MCG. McDonald to the front of the square. Chance for the high flyer. Fletcher wins it. Crashes to the ground by. Here's a chance. Watson kicks a goal. What fantastic play by the Pies!
Yeah, terrific play by Collingwood. It was the momentum. It was a game of mistakes in that flurry of play. But here's Dustin Fletcher. If you get the handball, you've got to get the ball forward. That was the pressure of the situation there. But the great awareness of mind by Shane Watson, even though he was dispossessed, pushed unbalanced in that tackle by the Essendon opponent. He kept the ball alive, kept it in the air, and he followed through with his kick. Great play, Shane Watson. Now there's nothing in this contest at this point of time. Scores are level.
Scores level in the Anzac Day game at the MCG. A frenetic couple of minutes of football leading up to Collingwood's goal to Watson to level the scores. Lucas goes to ground. The Pies have lifted. Buckley kicks it a mile. Inside 50. Watson charges at it. Anthony Rocker's there. Then Nokic over to win the ball. McDonald. Fuller is there. Calthorpe, you're in trouble. Towards the line and shepherded over by Caracella.
Just on ground level, guys. The players are just screaming at each other, shepherding. It's just fantastic atmosphere down here.
And Sav Rocker. He hurt Calthorpe with that one. Calthorpe again goes for the line. Somerville off the ground.
As we see here in this situation, Drew, Saverio Rockler's the only player. Every other player, Collingwood ground level players, away from the contest. Hopefully he tries to grab it and have a one-on-one kick at goal.
Lone Jaro for Calthorpe. The ball's in the goal square. What a pick-up by Buick. He's had a pretty quiet day, but finds Fletcher round the boundary line. Pinpoint, but the mark dropped by Burbakov. It's Bills to the back, short pass to Wild. Came from Russell. Scores level midway through the third quarter. Could we get another draw on Anzac Day? Wild goes round the man on the mark and is pulled down. Play on, says the umpire. Essendon desperate to get it out of there. Masiti goes for the line, and it's a throw-in.
Why didn't that hold the ball? He went to take on the play. He was grabbed.
I tell you what, because he actually kicked the footy dipper. If he'd simply attempted to kick the footy but not got his foot to it, he would have been penalised. But in that case, he actually did kick the ball, even though it wasn't a flash kick.
Just under 10 minutes left in this third term. Scores are level. Buckley goes to ground. Gets it back to Russell. Kicks a high ball. Watson, the high fly, has it thumped away by Fletcher. Krasiska. Again, back inside 50, Buick. It's been handy in this third term as well. Across the back half. Buick kicks the ball wide. He's looking for Fraser. He's got pace. Gets it back. The Rhino thumps it inside 50. Chance now for the Bombers on the rebound. Trying to get the ball forward was Burbakov. Cockatoo Collins goes to ground. They'll ball it up. 15 metres out from the Bombers' goal.
As Dipper said, you really can sense that it's picked up, can't you? I mean, the players are just throwing everything at one another, and there's so much intensity in the game in this third quarter.
Tremendous buzz around the ground at the MCG. Anzac Day clash. Essendon against Collingwood. There have been thrillers in the past.
Look at the chase and the pressure and the intensity to tackle by Chad Liddell. Great stuff, great defensive work rate. Gave him a chance to live to fight another day. The ball up was a result of that tackle.
So a chance for the Bombers, Lloyd, to do the ruck work against Michael, who just thumps it back over the line.
Well, in 95, they played a draw, these two, in front of 94,800. In 96, Collingwood won by 12 points in front of 87,000. And last year, Collingwood won by 29 in front of 83,000. Scores level again. It's the best ticket in town, Anzac Day at the MCG. Cockatoo Collins, 45 metres out. Oh, great spoil. The ball's gone into the post. Liddell has done a couple of magnificent things in the last minute. Bombers by a point.
Anxious fans look on. Liddell to bring the ball back into play. Goes very short into the back pocket. Crow has had a very good game. Kicks the ball wide. Getting backwards, O'Donnell did well. McDonald, centre wing for the Pies. Back to Buckley. He's had a tough duel with Blundfield. They've done well. Loose ball, Patterson. Who's quick? Wants to take him on through the centre square. Kicks a long bomb. High flow. Rock has been interfered with, surely. He's got the free. No doubt about that free kick, Peter McKenna.
No doubt about it, and he's just got to stay behind and jump at these young bench. He's trying his heart out down on Rocker, but he went far too early. He just had to wait and delay the jump, but he went too early and gave away the free kick. His eyes were on the ball.
Yeah, the instruction given to the guys, Pete, is that it's got to be a realistic attempt, and they don't get much less realistic than that one was.
Yes, he should have been playing the percentages, John, and he should have been jumping just with the idea of spoiling. I think he tried to be a little bit too spectacular. Big kick coming up here for Sam.
Take us through it, Pete, because he's kicked two.
Well, he's got terrific concentration. He's head right over the ball. He drops it low, drives hard through the ball. It's close. He's happy. It's a goal.
And that is goal 400 in the career of Severio Rocker. 400 goals come up in his 115th game.
It is the free kick here, Drew. Undisciplined act of play by young Matthew Banks. He's been good up to this stage of the game. He has to maintain his concentration. And here comes Severio Rocker running into goal. Beautifully balanced, as Peter McKenna said. He kicks truly for goal. Another goal for the Collingwood team.
And Severio Rocker watches his third goal sail through for career goal 400. The Pies come forward again through Patterson. Here comes Sam again on the turn. Severio. It comes back. It's close. I like it. But I'm not the goal umpire.
But I think you'd be a good one, Drew.
You reckon that was a goal?
No.
Just didn't quite bend it back. It's a great kick.
It's a critical part of the game now for the Essendon team. They've got to stabilise this situation. Collingwood have kicked the last 3 consecutive goals, and Essendon haven't repelled just yet.
It's been an 18-point turnaround. The Bombers led by 12 points at half-time. The Pies now by 6. There's Big Sav. He's inspired in this third quarter. He's on centre wing. Watson gives him the lead. Just pumps the ball high. Chance for his brother Anthony in front. Couldn't take it. Wild at the foot of the pack. Back to Anthony. Kicks a big ball. He's drilled it.
Well, a little bit of confidence goes a long way, doesn't it? When Anthony Rocker was really out of sorts in the first half, and all of a sudden both Rocker brothers are just doing so much. Anthony chases it, then takes the handball and screws it over his left shoulder and dobs it. That's inspirational football for the Collingwood team.
That was all the result of the backward handball. First by Wild, he won the ground level ball, but he had the presence of mind to handball backwards. Obviously a set play of the Collingwood team gave Anthony Rocker to kick truly.
Well, Anthony Rocker, that was the proverbial 100-metre goal. 50 up and 50 down. and through it went right through the middle. Collingwood have kicked the last 5 goals. The Bombers' last goal was 17 minutes into the second quarter, and at that stage they led by 21 points. And now Collingwood lead by 12.
It's also interesting to note, Drew, Joe Mercedes come off the ground, replaced by Ben Doolan. Whether he's injured or not, we'll have to wait and see.
O'Connor beat Monkhorst in the ruck. Berbikov. Bombers need to steady. Kick by Berbikov to full forward. Mal Michael, good hands. Great reading of the play. Great confidence by this youngster. Hooked off the rookie list last year to make his AFL debut. Liddell. Oh, he was a bit lucky to get support eventually from Krasiska. Through the cricket pitch area. Gavin Krasiska. Fuller. Brad Fuller from the ACT. Kicks to the goal square. Sav gets hands to it. A scrap in the goal square. And eventually over the boundary line.
McKay beats those 2 players we spoke about, Krasiska and Patterson, who started to add the drive, the run for the Collingwood team, and they're being very dangerous at this stage of the game.
Just saw Joe Mercedes on the interchange bench. He's played little football since having his jaw broken. Maybe just having a breather for the last term. Russell, back of the pack, caught by O'Donnell. Monkey gives it back to Fuller. He's booted 3, goes to ground. Russell, quick snap. It's in the goal square. Pushing and shoving. Knocked through by McDonald. Well, Collingwood, I thought, Mick, dominated the last 10 minutes of that second quarter. They didn't really get, any great result for all their hard work, and they've come out in this third term and they've continued on that good form. Fletcher again tries to pinpoint it, looking for Doolan just off the bench. Buick has done a lot of work across half-back in this third term. Fraser's a target. Richardson went the thump. 2 against 1, kicked off the ground by Lucas. And they'll toss it back in. 77 plays 64. Collingwood by 13 points after trailing by 12 points at half-time. So we have Blumfield and Buckley. They've done the ruck work a couple of times because Somerville and Monkhorst are picking each other up. Loose ball.
Throw.
There was a throw. So the free kick will go to Buick. It's on centre wing. Kicking down, looking for Lucas. Thumped away by Richardson. And Che Cockatoo Collins. Got a wrap over the ear.
You just see there the negative play when you kick to short to 50-50 contest. You're better off getting the ball long and direct into the front of the square, and maybe one of your tall options can take a mark.
Chance for the Bombers. Solomon. Cockatoo Collins has been dangerous. He's booted a couple. Puts it out in front. Looking for Blumfield. Caught by Liddell. They'll toss it back in.
4.5 minutes remaining to 3/4 time here at the MCG. The light's starting to take over. We had light rain at half-time. Looks as though clouds are approaching. Let's hope we can get through dry. Buick! Ooh, just offline.
Speaking of Buick, Drew, he's maybe one player that could go into the forward 50 area and add a bit of spark, because he is a potential multiple goal kicker once he's in that part of the ground. His speed might worry the Collingwood defence, and the matchup might be vulnerable.
Yeah, that's his first score tonight. Behind Nathan Buckley. Started slowly. He's had his problems with Blumfield, but he's still amassed 16 disposals. Way down on last week when he had 40 against the Tigers. But he clears the ground. Here's the best long kick in the competition. And look at that kick out. That has gone 65 metres straight onto the chest of Godden.
He goes short, finds Wild. He's on the half-back line to Scott Crowe. He's been a good player for the Pies today. Put Wild under a lot of pressure. He'll need some support. It's a loose ball. Doolan went at it hard. Wild again was the tackler. Under pressure, O'Donnell goes to ground. Wild follows up. Feeds it off to Russell. Back to Wild. He's lost it. Berbikov had it. Back to Fraser, the tackling. Sensational in his third term. Russell tries to weave himself out of trouble. Caught Krasiska. Dumped at the ground. Inside 50. Chance for the Pies. Under pressure, Heffernan tried to get the ball out towards Fletcher. There's a chance for Kelthorpe. Russell on hands and knees. Got a shove. Over the top is Krasiska. Desperation. Inside 50. They'll ball it up 35 metres out from goal.
Certainly sense the urgency up here. The bodies are crashing into the contest from both sides, and it's a terrific spectacle at this stage.
Do you miss it, Mick?
I certainly do.
Dean Solomon, the youngster playing his first game, having a break. Banks tried to kick it out of mid-air, half successful. Blumfield just about shoveled the ball out. Again, it's tough in the clinches. Heffernan the tackler along with Bomford, and they've forced it for a ball up on 50.
I reckon in about the last 90 seconds there have been 17 tackles and hardly a hand pass or a kick.
There's been plenty of attempts.
Yeah. Hardly anybody has had a possession. But look at the desire by both teams. Wellman might have to go off the ground with a kick. They lock horns and the umpire will ball it up again, this time just outside 50.
But that's just another added dimension of our great game in today's football, Drew. The extra pressure placed on players to be able to work the second phase of the game. When the opposition's got it, you have to dispossess and tackle hard and try to get it back in your claw so you can use the ball effectively.
It's a big crowd here at the MCG. It's not capacity, but it's another big one. O'Donnell, oh, I can't give him a kick for that either. Eventually, Russell to the goal square. Sav! Goal! Russell's kicked 4, 3 of them in this quarter. Sorry, Sav.
Well, he's been inspired, no doubt, Severio Rocker, Mick.
Yeah, certainly. It's, you know, the Rocker goals have been involved in 4 of their 5 goals this quarter. 3 to Rocker, 1 to Anthony and 1 to Watson. But also the Essendon players haven't stabilised the situation and put any scoreboard pressure on the Collingwood team as such.
Well, the Pies have kicked 5 goals in this third term. Essendon has kicked 5 behinds. Inside 50. Trying to win the ball was Richardson. Back to Osborne. Went off in that first quarter. Bomford playing the ball along in front of Krasiska. The tackling has been absolutely superb by both sides. Comes off the leg of Bomford over the line. Just over a minute and a half left. It's been a great third term. Wonderful buzz around the ground at the MCG. Been a great atmosphere since the first bounce. Buckley gets the ball down. Thumped forward by Lucas. Lloyd kicked 4 early goals, just not able to hang on to the ball. Osborne happy to push it through for a behind.
Lloyd and Michael having a howdy-do in the front of the goal square there. Nothing much in it. Just pushing and shoving KB.
Bit of feeling in this game.
Certainly is. This is what emotion's all about.
Nathan Buckley. His last kick out was a beauty. Found Chad Liddell virtually on centre wing. This time he just pinpoints it again at Scotty Crowe.
Best thing that can happen for Collingwood now is for Buckley to get it back.
Still deep in the back pocket, goes short to right. Still just 15 metres out from goals.
Rod should nearly play on and clear the area, as he does.
Takes your advice, Mick. Thumps the ball long and wide. Buckley's the target. He's got him. So he's on the half-back flank. 16 possessions and 4 marks. Trying to direct traffic. There's a mighty kick up to the half-forward line. A bit too much carry on the ball. It's out in the full.
And there's some light drops of rain starting to fall again, boys.
So a lead in these conditions could be handy, and Collingwood lead by 17 points. Buckley making a contest of it. It's at ground level. Crowe gets boot to ball, no distance. Doolan just off the bench in this third quarter. Blumfield gets it back to O'Donnell. Patterson, well done.
Been terrific this quarter of Stephen Patterson.
16 possessions and 3 marks.
Darren Buick having plenty to say, the man on the mark. Patterson pokes it over the top, just a little bit too far. Oh, Richardson. Buckley. Bucks has got it. Siren. What a quarter for the Pies. They kicked 5 goals, 5, and Essendon were goalless. They managed just 6 behinds. And during the 90s, both these clubs have won premierships, one each. But Collingwood have the edge over Essendon, winning 10-6 with one drawn. And with 1 quarter to play today, they have the edge again. But it was all set up, on the scoreboard at least, in that third term.
Yeah, Collingwood certainly provided the intensity and the impetus in midfield. As we see Tony Shaw coming out into the ground, it's been the midfield work rate from Prasiska and Patterson. Buckley started to get into the game and nullify the effectiveness of the tag of Blumfield. But above it all, it's been the Collingwood players who got into it. And there's a score leading into three-quarter time. 11-17-83 Collingwood, leading Essendon 9-12-66.
They are rocking the MCG. What a third term it was by the Pies to come from 12 points down to 17 points in front. And Big Monkey lifted in that third term, and he wins the opening hit out for the last quarter. O'Donnell. He's given it straight up to Crow. Crow's kick towards half forward. Buckley with a sit. He punches on rather than attempting the mark. Watson did well. Just outside the 50. Looks for Buckley, but it's chopped off by Blumfield. His hand passed back to... that was Heffernan. Osborne now for Collingwood. Floats one over to Liddell. Pinpointing Crow. Down the smoker stand wing. Anthony. At the front, Wild. Now Shane Watson, 60 metres from goal. Severio one out. Couldn't take the mark under pressure from O'Connor, and Rhino clears.
The Rhino kicks towards the centre wing position. Buckley's there, goes the thump from Blumfield at ground level. Fraser keeps the ball alive down towards the half-forward line. Tried to be knocked on that time by Caracella. They'll toss it back in.
KB, we see Ryan O'Connor now picking up Sam Rocker. Unfortunately for Matthew Banks, has hurt his shoulder when he went up for that big punch before. So important move by Essendon there.
So a bit of strength going back on Severio Rocker. Booted 3 goals in that third term. And kicked the goal after the siren at half-time. Kicked off the ground that time by Fraser. It's out on the full. So a lucky break there for Scotty Crow. He's had a good game. This is possession number 20. He's taken 9 marks. Caught by Fraser, who is super quick. Buick, 65 metres out. Feeds the ball back off to Caracella. Centres the ball. Chance for the Bombers. Big Somerville comes out. Couldn't take it in front of Monkhurst. Taken away by Richardson. Right across half back. On the burst. Goes short. Finds Krasiska. 2 old heads combined. 83 play, 66. Krasiska. It's a poor kick. Lloyd booted 4 goals in the first half. He's on centre wing. Caracella at centre half forward, along with Jukovic. Kicks the ball long. He's looking for Caracella. Punch from Liddell from behind. Wellman had it, lost it. Bomford to Cockatoo Collins. He kicked a miracle goal in the early in the game. Buick, has he got it? He has.
He's the bloke we spoke about in the third quarter, KB. He could be the match winner in this game because he is a consistent multiple goal kicker once he gets pushed forward, and he's always posed problems for Collingwood in this forward 50. He's very quick. He knows when to push into that slot, and he can kick goals, especially critical ones.
Such an important kick for the Bombers. Pete McKenna, you've got a good view of this one.
Yes, Kevin, he's a much better kick on the run. He can kick around corners. It's a lot harder from dead in front. He's normally an accurate kick. It looks good. It's a goal.
We've certainly got a game on our hands now, KB and Drew. And just sense the crowd starting to get involved. Both teams voicing their approval, disapproval, whatever you like to call it. They're trying to get involved in this game emotionally. But great play here, great build-up by Essendon. Young Bomfield showed a great poise, great agility to handball, even though he's on the wrong side to handball right hand. Great awareness by Cockatoo Collins. Didn't blaze away, assessed his options, gave the ball to Buick. Buick went back and kicked a critical goal for Essendon.
Been a bit going on between Buick and Patterson. And Buick had a few words to his opponent. Patterson wins it out of the middle and is bowled over after he got rid of his kick. The Bombers have it. Berbatov switches play towards the southern stand side. Somerville lopes after it. Collingwood by 11. Somerville's kick to half forward. Punch down to the front. Cockatoo Collins nearly taken off balance to Lucas. Lucas skirts round towards the boundary line. And that's high, and I thought it was heading out of bounds. It stays in. The players get it out of bounds.
And that's that enigmatic type of play that Scotty Lucas can do. He can do the sensational thing, but he doesn't do it consistently enough at this stage of his career. The more importance he learns from mistakes like that, the better a player he'll become.
Sav hit the ground pretty hard on the shoulder then. Comes to Osborne and tries to poke it towards the line. Deliberate, says the umpire. He reacted to the claims of the Essendon players.
Well, yeah, I certainly reacted to what he saw. I mean, the kick just went straight for the boundary line and quite quickly. Didn't gain any ground for the team, so obviously deemed to have been his only intention to put the ball over the line.
Could have been trying to kick it onto an Essendon player's shin so it'd go out on the full. Cockatoo Collins.
Called to play on.
50 metres out on the boundary. Goal square job. Fletcher up high. And through it goes for a behind.
John, can I ask a question? Why then was he called to play on? He ran straight. He didn't go off his line.
The only reason I could think of, Mick, would be that once he enters the field of play and the umpire thinks he's trying to improve the angle a bit, then he will call play on immediately. Now, you know, we can't tell whether he did improve the angle from here, but that's the only thing I can think of, mate.
Looked like he was going fairly straight from where we're sitting, though, all the same.
Collingwood by 10 points. Buckley to bring the ball back into play. Finds Wright. On most occasions, it looks like he's gone to Wright and Crow. Patterson. Liddell chips in. Still on the half-back line. Chad Liddell. Looking for Buckley. Patterson. It's been good today. Back to Russell. Back to Buckley. They carry the ball to the centre wing position. A beautiful kick. Finds Alex McDonald. Anthony Rocker wants the ball long. Here comes Big Sav in front of the Rhino. He's got it. Got his body in front. We've got a terrific view of this kick.
This is a new technique, the new approach to goal. He marks the ground and he takes about 6, 7 or 8 steps. We'll just count them as he goes back. He's marked the ground. There's 1, there's 2, 3. Well, he's played on anyway.
It's gone short. Maybe a bad decision. This might set it up for the Bombers. Blumfield's under pressure. He's got Buckley the beat. They've been at it all day. Buckley, great hands. Couldn't quite flick it back. The Rhino goes wide. Blumfield takes it over.
Now, Mick, when Sav can kick it that far, if he's going to turn it over, he's better to do it on the goal line than on the 50, surely.
Here's Rocker's highlights. The first of his 3 goals for the quarter. He kicked long. Here's the contest. Better judgment on that occasion than Banks. And the third of his last quarter, his third of his third quarter goals we didn't see.
Going to have a ball up here just forward of centre wing. Collingwood lead by 10 points. Buckley and Blumfield have done quite a bit of the rucking between them today. Fletcher goes to ground. Patterson. Here's Bucks. Berbikov pushed off his kick. Cockatoo Collins protecting the ball with his body. Russell looking for Osborne. And the ball back out of play.
Yes, Drew, the conditions have certainly changed in the last couple of minutes. The rain is starting to come down. The ball is very slippery now for the players to handle.
You can go home then.
Unfortunately, I can't. I'm enjoying the game, Drew.
So that boundary throw in. Here's a chance. Patterson comes back to right. Crashed into Jay Cockatoo Collins. Doolan under pressure. Just thumps the ball back to 50. Looking for Lloyd. Going to ground is young Solomon playing his first game. Loose ball. Caracella. He needs a bounce. Mel Michael trying to get across there.
It's an interesting situation, KB, out in the wing here. Both boundary throw-ins. It's a non-ruckman against a non-ruckman. At the stage of the game, Essendon are trailing. Do you say, let's put Somerville in against the Buckley, let's push Blumfield to play on Monkhurst, just to give first access to the ball to the Essendon team?
What's happened a few times, Mick, is that either Damien Monkhorst or Somerville has dropped back into the forward line and the opposition ruckman has gone with his opponent. Therefore, Buckley and Blumfield then have had to do the ruck work.
Yeah, that's right. I'd nearly change it around and let Somerville take it against the ruck and let Blumfield go and match on man-on-one situation against Monkhurst. Give him first access to the ball.
Well, the umpire says to Buckley to hurry it up because he came from about 60 metres to take the kick out. This time to Chad Liddell. Kicks the ball, which has been half smothered. Taken by Heffernan to Jukovic. Trying to crash his way through was Liddell, taken by Crow. Ball just tumbles inside the centre square. Monkhurst goes to the ground, trying to come through hard was Watson, missed it. Bomford feeds the ball off. Blumfield can go short. The kick's a poor one. He's got Buick on 50. Loves to take him on. Buick, great smother off the boot by Jason Wild. Been some great smothers today, some wonderful tackling. This has been a pressure game. Kevin Sheedy in the box. Matthew Drain sitting in front of him, one of his right-hand men. See, coming off the ground and coming on is Joe Mercedes. Buick to the goal square. Big play for the Bombers. Mel Michael, equal to the task again, pushes it through.
It's been an important matchup since half-time. Mel Michael going to Matthew Lloyd. He certainly curved his influence on the game. As we see, he kicked 4 goals up to the half-time break.
At half-time, Essendon were 9 goals 6. They're now 10-15. But I make it that there have been 6 rush behinds in the second half. Crow near the boundary line, still in the defensive 50. He centres the ball. That could be dangerous, but Patterson marks just outside 50. Got Wright going past. He's got Russell going the other way. A good set play. Russell over centre wing. Wellman to half forward. Oh, Lloyd backed into them and took a magnificent mark. Lloyd's kicked 4 today, all in the first half. Down to the pocket. And the first gamer, Dean Solomon, takes the mark. It'll take a great kick for him to score from there. And he's hooked it. Over enthusiastic, out of bounds on the foot.
A wasted kick. Bombers trail by 8 points. Tony Shaw on the phone. Liddell from the back pocket. Gets good distance. Richardson was in front, Lloyd from behind. To Lucas, started well, spent some time on the interchange bench. Inside 50, there's a mark, Blumfield. Well, he's kicked a goal. That came in the second term, and there's his opponent, Nathan Buckley, on the mark.
It was Justin Blumfield, KB, who actually went to the contest. His direct opponent, Buckley, decided to stay off the contest, and here's the consequence, not going with your direct opponent.
Blumfield to bring the Bombers to within 2 points as Monkhorst comes off the ground. He bangs it through.
I suppose it should be a pertinent point to ask Dipper down at ground level, is there any actual wind favouring that end of the ground? Because in the second half there's been already 7 goals to 0 kicked to that end of the ground, Dipper.
Takings are not permitted on the arena after today's game. Thank you.
Well, it's a critical kick for Essendon. Justin Blumfield certainly knew the percentage time to drift forward. He won't kick many more important goals than that in his career.
Well, Buckley and Blumfield have been opponents all day. They both had exactly 21 possessions, but Blumfield's now kicked 2 goals. Buckley hasn't kicked any. Buckley tries to intercept this one. He grabs Buick. Play on, says the umpire. Thought he might have interfered. And so did the Essendon fans. Buckley off the left, just as good as the right. Doesn't seem to matter. McDonald works his opponent under the ball. Fletcher. Wild goes through. Wellman crunched. Anthony Rocker applying the bear hug. And it's on the 50 and a baller.
Terrific play that time by Wellman. He was certainly going against the tide. There was 3 Collingwood players with their momentum surging forward. It only had not to be trapped by Wellman. Collingwood would have certainly ran into an open goal.
Now they ruck against each other. Rocker gets it out towards Wild. Look at the desperation. Russell. It is a piece of soap. Collingwood by just 2 points. Dipper, the goals seem to be coming to the right-hand end in the second half.
Yeah, that's correct, Drew. It's certainly picked up the win here, and you're spot on. There's about 2 or 3 goal breeze.
Rocker got his hands on the ball. Doolan kicks it off the ground, again inside the centre square. Cockatoo Collins forced it forward. Krasiska kicks a wobbly old kick towards the edge. 2 to beat is Buckley, bowled over by Blumfield. They've had a great duel. Chance for the Bombers coming forward. Here's Solomon, couldn't take it on the half volley. Going to ground, Krasiska over the top of the ball. They pile on top. They'll ball it up 55 metres out from Essendon's goal. They trail by 2 points. It's been a great game.
If that's a 2 or 3 goal breeze, you'd have to favour Essendon at this stage, even though they trail. 10 minutes left.
Somerville taken away by Godden. Heads towards the boundary. Beats O'Donnell over the line with Russell. So
there's Gary O'Donnell again, just telling the Collingwood bench what he thinks of them.
We saw Godden on screen, see that ball over the line. He took the place of Paul Williams, didn't take his spot today, and Sean Denham also missed out for the Bombers. Patterson forces the ball forward. Loose ball, chance for the Pies. McDonald needs a kind bounce, gets it inside 50 and kicks a goal.
Well, his brother did it last week for Melbourne, and that could nearly be a match winner for another one of the McDonalds.
Yeah, terrific balance and terrific pick up there on that occasion by Alex McDonald. He knew exactly where the goals are, and as we've seen over his career, it was a beautiful disposal of the ball either side of his body. On that occasion, he balanced his body, looked directly at the goals and kicked truly the most important goal in the overall context of this game.
Anthony Rocker on the bench as he was late in the second quarter. Alex McDonald has kicked his first goal of the game and stretched Collingwood's lead to 8 points. Patterson out of the middle. They've turned it around the last minute or two to the Pies. Fuller off the ground, Sav Rocker. It bounces back to Watson. Kicks the end of the ball.
Free kick downfield, Drew. The free kick will be paid in the goal square. Watson was flattened after he kicked the footy, according to Grant Vernon,
and there was Sav Rocker with his arms up as though he was going to stand the mark. He didn't realise it was his kick.
I think it'd be very hard for the players to hear the whistle, given the atmosphere around the ground at the moment, but there was no doubt at all that umpire Vernon reacted immediately to Watson being flattened, and there was no doubt that the free kick was going to be paid to Sav in the goal square.
Well, already 4 of Collingwood's goals have come from frees. This could be 5.
Darren Buick waiting at centre half forward. I reckon he might just have something to say to a few blokes.
Yeah, it's certainly Severio Rocker who stood up in the second half for Collingwood. That's his 4th for the half. He's been a very good focal point up forward. Here's the incident on replay now. O'Connor, undisciplined act of play, John, very late.
No doubt at all, it's too late. And for the players to remonstrate about that sort of free kick being paid, I mean, Shane Watson has disposed of the ball, and after he has disposed of the ball, he's flattened by Ryan O'Connor coming through, and that's just got to be a free kick.
The Magpies answering the challenge on Anzac Day by 14 points. 95 plays 81. Somerville this time against Francis. Russell feeds the ball out to Buckley. Kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. Fletcher running with the flight of the ball. Going in very, very hard for Collingwood was Pugsley. And they'll ball it up just outside of 50.
Dustin Fletcher hasn't had the surety of his hands throughout the course of the day, KB.
No, he has struggled today, both up forward and in defence. Somerville taken by Buick. Tumbles the ball back to the centre square. Krasiska back to Buckley. Round the corner, the half-forward line. Good fist away by Somerville. Crow has had a big game for the Pies. Half-forward flank centres the ball. He's looking for Fuller, who's already booted 3. Chipping in was Joe Mercedes. Back to Jukovic. Time for think music. To Doolan. Still on the half-back flank. The Bombers trail by 14 points. Still plenty of time. Just over 8 minutes left. Finds Wellman, being one of their better players. Kicks the ball long, up towards 50. Cockatoo Collins decided not to go for it. At ground level, Caracella gets across to Lloyd. He's booted 4. Has to go backwards to Lucas on 50. Long raking kick to the goal square. Pushing and shoving down there is Solomon. Along with young Godden. Through for a behind.
Scott Lucas, there's no doubt he's going to be a player of the future, but just on occasions, across the forward 50, you've got to assess your options. More often than not, you'll find a loose teammate forward drifting into that hole. On that occasion, he took it upon himself to bomb it forward. Probably a low percentage day, a low percentage play in the overall context of this game. It is tight. Look for players who are free drifting forward.
Well, the Bombers kicked the first 2 goals of this last quarter to get within 2 points, but the Pies have hit back with the last 2. Osborne with distance, clears the 50, out in front of Kasiska. Heffernan with him. Bomford did well, and the ball bounces just inside the line, and that'll be a throw-in. Andrew Bomford, who played nearly 80 reserves games for the Sydney Swans, playing his 7th league match from North Shore in Sydney. 7.5 minutes to go. Buckley again flips the ball up for Osborne. Looking for the line. Well, his last one on that side of the ground went straight out and he was free kicked. That time he gained about 35 metres.
I question this validity again against the non-ruckman, 2 non-ruckmans. You've got Blumfield and Buckley. Why don't you put Somerville into the active play? It is Essendon who are trailing by 13 points at this stage of the game. Get first access to the ball to your ground level players.
Well, Buckley and Blumfield have had a marvellous duel. Richardson came over the top. Lucas was on the half-back line, unloads back towards the half-forward line, pushing and shoving. Carousel up. The lead is on. He was looking for Buick, caught at the back, dropped short. Buick, the free kick.
High tackle to Collingwood, KB, is what's been paid. Oh!
So Mel Michael
Not much doubt about that one either.
gets around Lloyd on the mark, goes wide. Osborne. Liddell wanted it short. So Richard Osborne went off in the first quarter with an ankle injury. It's a beautiful long kick. Looking for Buckley, takes a one-hander. Starting to be a very influential player, Nathan Buckley. Kicks down, Sabs in front, drops it. Watson feeds the ball off. McDonald back to Rocker. Outside of 50, tries to drill it to Fuller. He's booted 3, pushed out of the way by Calthorpe. Going to ground, Solomon over the top. O'Donnell caught. Still a loose ball.
And as you mentioned, KB, Nathan Buckley's really rose to the occasion in this second half. He's taken Blumfield on. Admittedly, Blumfield's drifted forward and kicked 2 important goals for Essendon, but it's his general playing, his overall playing general play that's got Buckley back into this contest.
It's a big play for the Pies. Jukovic under pressure, kicks the ball wide. Buick's got 2 to beat. He's been good since half-time. Buick to the edge of the centre square, off the fingertips of Chad Liddell. Goes wide, great vision. Krasiska, the veteran from inside the centre square, bangs it long. In front is Rocker, good fist away by the Rhino. O'Connor, Patterson, the crummer, 45 metres out. Again, he's off target. He's kicked 4 behinds.
Patterson on that occasion did all the right things. He crumbed beautifully, got front and square to the pack. He even turned his body to balance himself up properly, have a direct shot on goal, but unfortunately the accuracy wasn't there.
And as soon as it missed, he went down with cramp. But he did kick through that one hard. Fletcher kicks in. Still 5.25 minutes left. Perhaps time for the Bombers. Russell. Fletcher gets back. And an excellent mark with a slippery ball. Margin 14 points. 81,542. Last year it was 83,271. About 1,500 short of last year. But these Anzac Day clashes between these traditional rivals have always drawn over 80,000 and once drew nearly 95.
Thank you.
Boy, what a spectacle.
Just under 5 minutes left. Collingwood by 14 points after trailing by 12 points at half-time. The Bombers need a goal. Basiti was magnificent in the first half, went off in the third quarter. Lucas kicked off the ground. Buckley has been so good this time. O'Donnell intercepts inside 50. Clever play. Carousel from Buick. Cockatoo Collins didn't really hit its target. Kicked it in mid-air. It's out on the full.
The Bombers certainly need a goal in this flurry while the ball's in their forward 50. They need a goal quickly so they can get back and try to get back into this contest.
Mel Michael to bring the ball back. He's done a very good job playing on Matthew Lloyd since half-time. Lloyd a dominating player in the first half with 4 goals. Michael just tumbles the ball down. Fraser. O'Donnell again looking for Cockatoo Collins. Osborne got in the way. Caracella under pressure, back to Buick. Big snap. He's kicked it.
player, KB. We continually mention he's a player that can push forward and be a multiple goal kicker. That's the second for his quarter, a second goal for the quarter. Whether there's enough time to get back into the contest. First of all, it was great ability, great balance here by Shea Cockatoo Collins. Release the ball to Blake Carosello, who in turn give it to Buick. And look at that for poise and purpose, kicking across your body. A great learning tool for a kid to be balanced, look at the goals, and then kick truly. Great goal, Darren Buick.
The Bombers need 2 more goals. 4 minutes left. Out of the middle, Patterson. Rain getting a little bit heavier. At the back, Severio Rocker. And if Sav can kick truly here, surely he's clinched it. He had just 1 goal to half-time. The Rocker boys had 1 between them to half-time. But since half-time, Sav's added 4. And this could be the sealer if he can put the Pies past the century. It's not a bad return for a full forward. 17 kicks. He's kicked 5 goals, 4. This to send half the crowd away unhappy. And the other half delirious.
Big Severio Rocker, he certainly stood up in this second half. Here's the mark, superior judgment. Even though Ryan O'Connor pushed forward to the contest, you still have to have that awareness of where the ball's going to and going to land at the highest point. It was Severio Rocker, and you look at his concentration here, head directly over the ball, the follow through. He knows it's going through. He's a happy man. That's his 6th for the game. A very important player in the overall context of this game. Great effort, Severio Rocker.
Collingwood by 14 points. It's been a big game by Severio. 6 goals. It's a match-winning performance. Somerville. Hands on the ball to Cockatoo Collins. Goes to ground. Kicked off the ground by Bomford. Masidi has got right to beat. Overruns the ball. Gets good support from Osborne. To Richardson. Collingwood keep on coming. Krasiska on the half-forward line. Runs his full distance. Goes short, too much carry on the ball. Chance for Doolan. Somerville under pressure. Backtracks. Across the half-back line to Bomford. Time's running out for the Bombers. Kicks to space. He's looking for Heffernan. Needs a kind bounce. Bang! Crashed into by Mel Michael. He's a great young player. The youngster from Papua New Guinea gets a pat on the back from Alex McDonald. He's turned the game around with his performance on Matthew Lloyd in the second half.
Oh, he's a bottle of Grange Hermitage. He'll get better with age.
McDonald taps it down to Russell. Kicks to the half-forward line. Fletcher in front of Watson. Some fancy footwork back towards the half-back line. Taken by Cockatoo Collins to Wellman, who's tried hard. Crow. Too much carry. Lucas couldn't take it on the second grab. Buick's been very good. Back to Doolan. Gets support from Calthorpe. Inside the centre square. Caught. The tackling has been ferocious today by both sides. Doolan forced towards the centre wing. The ball goes over the line in front of Godden and Bomford.
I think it's been the Collingwood players, KB, who've adjusted to the little bit of rain that's happened there, the greasy ball. The F's continued to work hard, get numbers at the contest. It's been a great effort overall by the Collingwood team.
In the last 2 minutes, Patterson over it. Buick threads out a hand pass. Doolan. God. He's looking for the line. There's little doubt about that, but he won't ping him for that. Used up a bit of time. 14 points the margin. Well, Collingwood started the season win, loss, loss, win. Essendon started loss, win, win, loss. So they've had opposite results every week of the season, and it'll be the same today. It'll be a win for Collingwood and a loss for Essendon.
What can we read into that, Drew?
It's all Collingwood players have to do in this situation. Play man on man, know where their opponent is, feel them, and get their bodies in first to the contest.
Shark by Crow. Watson in front at centre wing. Out of bounds will do Collingwood at this stage. And the Bombers just haven't managed enough goals after half-time. They've kicked just 3 since the long break. They led by 12 points at half-time with 9-6 to 6-12. Well, Somerville started the game, gave away 2 free kicks in the first minute, and he's finishing with another one in the last minute. And the free kicks definitely have favoured the Pies. And from their free kick advantage, they've kicked 5 goals. Lucas hand pass out to Fletcher. To half forward, Cockatoo Collins in there. Doolan at ground level. No, it was Fraser. Bomford getting it going goalwards. He's still there. Good tackle, Buckley. And Osborne to help out.
And Osborne finds Krasiska. Under 30 seconds. You'll hear the roar go around the MCG when this siren sounds. It's been a big win for the Pies. Watson on the half-forward line. Big Sav. Listen to that roar. What's it like up in the stands, Peter?
Terrific atmosphere, and they love Rocker. They love a full forward. They love a guy who can kick goals. Now this will bring the house down. Siren's gone. Magpies are winners, but listen to the Collingwood roar, Kevin.
It's interesting, you look at Severio Rocker, he's got that new technique, marks the ground, takes 10 paces back, KB, call the last kick of the game.
Well, he kicked a goal after the siren at half-time. Can he drill this one? What a kick! He's kicked the goal! What an end to a fantastic match! Severio Rocker has booted 7 goals. Look at the excitement here on the faces of the Collingwood players. They have pulled off a mighty win. And there's Tony Shaw. What a happy man he'll be tonight.
Yeah, terrific play, terrific effort by the Collingwood team. They really stabilised the situation after the half-time break. They turned a 12-point deficit at half-time to go in with a 17-point lead going into the last quarter. It was the efforts by Severio Rocker. He really stood up when the game had to be won. He kicked 3 goals in the third quarter, the all-important third quarter, and kicked 3 in the last quarter. Down to you, Debbie. You got Stephen Patterson.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mick. One of the ex-teammates, Mickey McGuan, said well done. You were the guy who got back into the game. A fantastic win by the Magpies.
Oh, it was a great win. We came from behind. We were shooting a bit inaccurately at the start, but then we found our king of shoes, and it was a great win.
Now, your own performance is terrific. You're one of the guys who got the guys back into it. You're full of run today.
Yeah, it was good running around. The whole team did well.
I think the boys are taking it away now, guys. Take it away.
Well, I saw Dermy run through a huddle once, Dipper, but I never saw a huddle run through a bloke.
They've tried it for years, mate. They've tried it for years.
It took every one of them, Dipper.
Well, this has certainly been a terrific win. Another great game. It's amazing how they put on great games on Anzac Day. Collingwood 15-18, 108 have defeated Essendon 12-16, 88.
We'll enjoy the weekend and have a
Well, let's go, boys. Turn them off.